First time I ever saw a WWE pay-per-view called Payback, I actually thought to myself, really? This is basically just Backlash with a different title. It's the same pay-per-view event. You didn't think I noticed, did you? Also, I honestly believe this should have been the post-WrestleMania show, just like Backlash was, because the concept of this pay-per-view makes sense for that. Wow, there was no opening pyro for this event. The only time I find that acceptable for a pay-per-view event is at WrestleMania in broad daylight. At least there would be a reason for that. In this case, there's literally no explanation for no opening pyro.
I don't remember when there's been so much anticipation.
Don't even start, Jerry. You said that same line in almost every pay-per-view event ever.
Well, this is a moment.
If there was ever a more appropriate time to put in the ow my hands in.
Cover and Curtis Axel.
That's The Miz, you stupid dumbass. Michael Cole, of all people, should know which one is Miz and which one is Curtis, considering that he had a creepy erection for The Miz for the better part of 2 years.
Breeds champions. What do you think, Paul?
The fans are singing Fandango's theme, even though Fandango is not even a part of this match. Rows of tweets.
Here as Miz fires up.
Even a really light kick can send you into an unnecessary backflip motion. The only reason I'm sitting this is because this is literally the only accomplishment that Curtis Axel ever did. Nowadays, he's one of the biggest jokes that WWE has ever seen. Let me stare at you for a while. It's my specialty. Trying to be intimidating, but that's next to impossible when I'm wearing a suit. Previously on WWE. Surprised that the Spanish commentators haven't quit their jobs after years of table abuse.
You beat your best friend, you beat your mama, you do whatever you have.
What dumbass beats their mama? Whoever wrote this tweet down here had failed to realize that they congratulated Curtis Axel wrong. Great Father's Day gift for his dad to follow his father. So is Mr. Perfect following his father up in the afterlife or something? Alright, I ain't kidding. This is literally the second time in less than 2 minutes that WWE decided to show us what was trending, as if we gave a shit the first few times they did it. Oh, is this event called Payback to get payback on me for giving you so many tweet sins? Well, I certainly love where this is going. Shame the referee is spoiling the fun. Also, wrestler takes off belt, which allows the villains to take advantage of the match cliche. Ah, will you fuck off with the trends already? That's like 10 times since the show started 25 minutes ago.
Is what Caitlyn's going to do.
Caitlyn gives AJ the spear, but then decides to waste all the time in the world by not going for the pin whatsoever. No wonder she ends up losing this match. JBL should honestly co-host this show with me, considering he makes excellent points all the time. 4 minutes of WWE trying to make me feel bad for Caitlyn, and honestly, I would feel bad for her in this case, but after Caitlyn hesitated for the better part of 30 seconds before pinning AJ in the match, I sadly don't feel it. Skip the damn pre-show panel. By now, this promo is many years old, but I saw it again, and I think I just shit my pants again, just like before. Who gives a shit about Hulu? Look at this, Kane. This is what the US title looks like when I hold it like this.
14,000.
Commentator announces the number of people in attendance as though we give a shit cliche. Kane kicks Dean Ambrose in the chest, yet it's Dean's gut that's in pain. Logic, am I right? Another row of tweets. Also, while I know that this pay-per-view event took place on Father's Day, literally none of these tweets being shown are related to WWE Payback whatsoever.
Chance to hold a championship that Harley Race held.
Understandable that we're talking about the US title in a US title match, but the problem here is that's literally almost all that the commentators talk about, even when moves are being performed in the ring. Sure, the US title has a rich history, but there's also a match going on, you know.
You remember?
I was about to say copyright infringement, but then I remembered that Dean was facing Kane, not The Undertaker. Closest I can get to that sin is mocking someone's brother. Guess that'll do.
Close. Oh!
Dean is addicted to Kane's mask. Dean, the title is upside down. Oh my god, Rob Van Dam is coming back! This is going to be the best run he's ever had in WWE, 100% guaranteed. Previously on WWE Payback. The moment that we have no video promo for an upcoming world title match is the moment that we realize that it was barely hyped up at all. Previously on WWE, and my 17th birthday.
Allow me to present to you the man.
Why the fuck are you no longer introducing Alberto Del Rio in Spanish, Ricardo? What gives with that? Completely takes away the awesomeness of Alberto's introduction.
14,623.
WWE Payback 2013, trying to break the record for most times that annoying Twitter trends we're viewing on screen.
Countouts.
chanting for the referee. This match just started 30 seconds ago. How can you be bored out of your mind already?
Oh, look at it.
Ow, my hands!
Once but twice, and now Langston.
Look at that. Big E Langston just put his hands on a competitor of this match, and in full view of the referee's eyes. So why isn't the referee doing his job and calling for the disqualification? He's a senior official too. He should remember how to do his job. Alberto made sure to waste all the time in the world before trying to lock in the cross arm breaker.
Ziggler!
Ah, you failed.
Ziggler never saw that coming.
Ziggler did never saw that coming? Does that quote make any sense to you guys? Would make more sense if Michael Cole either said Ziggler did not see that coming or Ziggler never saw that coming. Not again. Post-match promo. Why exactly does Chris Jericho want payback from CM Punk when Punk never did anything to him in 2013? What's his payback about this match? A pay-per-view should really stick to its theme.
Straight-edged, bald-headed mind.
CM Punk is clearly not bald. There's a difference between bald and shaved. A bald head has no traces of hair on it. CM Wolverine Punk. 1 minute of absolutely nothing when the bell rings.
Asking for this match in Chicago.
From the way Chris was going to land from that jump off the rope, it seems like he was destined to land on the ropes even without Punk countering him.
Well, Jericho's in ring shape as well.
Jericho's in ring shape? Well, thanks for stating the obvious, Michael. Isn't CM Punk supposed to be a veteran of wrestling here? Even he should know that you should never toss your opponent onto the apron and immediately turn your back on him. Aww, baby Punk's being cuddled by Daddy Jericho.
What's Jericho gonna do? Is he gonna tap out?
I don't know if Jericho is gonna tap out.
Nice back!
Why the hell did the referee start counting when Chris's shoulder was clearly off the ground? Is he blind? The moment Punk takes freaking forever to hit the GTS is the moment you know that Chris is going to counter. Punk sees Paul Heyman standing on the stairs and immediately questions him. Since when did Punk ever care about Paul getting involved in his matches?
But Heyman was up on the apron!
Oh man, that was quite the kick. Or punch. Or something. I don't know what it was because the damn cameraman missed that. CM Punk's knee is strong with the force to be able to connect with the GTS despite not being anywhere near Chris's face.
He's got strength and he got caught!
And now I am removing 3 sins for that great timing of the code breaker.
Go to sleep! And again!
Double GTS into a victory of a great match was an amazing ending, deducting 5 sins.
To lose in his hometown of Chicago.
I don't know why, but I think I'll remove another sin here because we are immediately going from one match to the next one. And that's what I love about this event and the WWE house shows. Who the hell thought it was a good idea to pair up Daniel Bryan with Randy Orton when they clearly can't get along? Could they just have Team Hell No go up against Seth and Roman while Randy took on Dean or something? Just saying. Also Team RK No. Randy kicked Roman in the face using the Force.
Uncanny ability of the Shield.
RVD chants. I don't think the fans realized that the promo said he was coming back next month, not in this match.
Here. Whoa!
Seth gives Roman a spanking.
Big bad. Oh!
Unlikely team accidentally takes each other out, which ends up costing them the match cliche. Also, Jerry Lawler's imitation of a sheep.
Tables match!
John Cena announced that Stage 2 of the 3 Stages of Hell match was going to be a tables match, yet the flashbacks are showing a TLC match instead. May involve tables, but still, wrong flashbacks.
Is an ambulance match!
Funny thing is that originally this match was just going to be an ambulance match instead of a 3 Stages of Hell match. That one moment when we realized that being involved in a lumberjack match is the only way for most of these wrestlers to even make an appearance on pay-per-view. Ryback's non-pyro pyro, which also went off when he never even signaled for it to go off. The Lumberjacks decided not to assault Ryback, but when he shoved Cesaro, they're like, fuck it, which I found hilarious. Lumberjack brawl cliche. I know, right? A majority of the wrestlers were not even hit by John's jump, yet they decided to fall down anyway. We playing Ring Around the Rosie or something? Wait a minute. Didn't the ring announcer say that there was going to be tables surrounding the ring, considering it's a tables match? Because I don't see any tables. Are they invisible or something? Ryback can't even set up a table properly, considering one of the legs is still halfway between being folded and straightened out. Is he dumb?
And Ryback with a shoulder!
See what happens when you don't set the table up properly? Goldberg chants from fans who are too ignorant to realize that Ryback looks nothing like Goldberg and isn't affiliated with Goldberg in any way.
14,600.
Shut up.
Watch out. Oh, no.
And now your hands are broken. Ryback throws the steps through the table even after he realized that John had moved out of the way. I guess he wanted to put something through the table knowing full well he ain't gonna win the second fall.
Cena's on the table. It just moved.
Damn, the stairs are taking quite the abuse, having gone through 2 tables in less than a minute. Oh my god, that's the second table Ryback improperly set up. Once again, that leg is only halfway set up. Does he even know how to set up tables properly?
To the table. We're in sudden death.
Not only does Ryback not know how to set up a table properly, but he also no-sells getting put through the table by recovering from all that in 20 seconds.
Let's drive out of this arena. We've got a new champion.
This is an ambulance match, which means I can't win by pinning you in the ring. But why not? I might as well toss you back into the ring instead of trying to put you into the ambulance. Not like the freaking WWE Championship is on the line, right?
These dudes getting back to the ambulance.
Are you serious? The ambulance match has been going on for 2 minutes and only now does the referee ring the bell. Did you forget about doing that? Also, I wonder, what's so dangerous about an ambulance match? It's only about putting your opponent inside an ambulance and shutting the door. Now, if the object was to beat down your opponent until he had no choice but to go to the hospital in the ambulance, then it'd be considered a dangerous match.
Many up! Ryback could have broke his hand.
Ryback punched the ambulance, but is clutching his face, despite the fact that his face didn't even break any glass.
Ryback! Oh,
Easily breakable door is easily breakable. This is honestly the most fragile ambulance I have ever seen in my life. Come on, no roof of a freaking ambulance would break as easily as breaking a wooden table. And isn't it convenient that we didn't get a good camera angle of Ryback going through the ambulance too? Calling major bullshit on that.
Payback.
Welcome to the second edition of WWE Payback, which is apparently following the tradition of SummerSlam of being in the same location by taking place at the Allstate Arena in Rosemont, just like 2013. For Retribution takes over? Damn, WWE is trying to put over the Retribution group 6 years before actually pulling the trigger with them. Perhaps a time like this would have been the best moment since a lot of wrestlers in 2014's roster could pull it off.
Retribution.
With how many times they're using the word Retribution in this promo instead of Payback, I'm actually shocked that the name of this event is not WWE Retribution.
Payback.
There was no opening pyrotechnics for this event despite being in a venue that's used pyro a lot for WWE events, and the company wasn't on their 2.5-year sabbatical from pyrotechnics either. That one fan of the crowd cosplaying as Sheamus thinks that it requires wearing green and orange sleeve-sized gloves. I get that it's the colors of the Irish, but Sheamus doesn't wear those on his arms. Oh my god, it's my old enemy who I have not seen in so long. Drink the Mountain Dew! Why? Why? Previously on WWE.
He's over at the United Center.
Paul Heyman, in 2014, just foreshadowed CM Punk's eventual return to wrestling at the United Center in 7 years from now. I'm starting to think he was in on this plot the entire time. Dun dun dun!
When my client conquered the Undertaker.
Fuck you! I studied Spanish for 16 years just so I could say this one line. Bebe el Rocío de la Montaña. Sheamus and Cesaro, future legendary team indeed, though it still feels weird that the United States Championship is being defended by wrestlers from Ireland and Switzerland, even when we're practically used to it.
1975.
The United States title is on the line. Must mean it's time for Michael Cole to begin telling the story of the inaugural United States Champion just like he does for every last U.S. title match that ever takes place in existence.
The likes of Ricky Steamboat.
Oh, great. Now Michael is listing off the no fewer than a dozen WWE Hall of Famers who have held the U.S. title, just like he does at every pay-per-view in existence. And to cap it off, now we got JBL constantly complaining that Michael is not listing him on the list of U.S. champions.
Look out, Sheamus.
Wouldn't that be Cesaro who should look out since it's Sheamus who's about to deliver the elbow drop? Please don't tell me Jerry Lawler actually confused those two apart. Paul Heyman is so bored of Sheamus' offense that he started picking his nose and quickly removed it before the cameras could catch it. Too late, I caught it.
As big as Sheamus.
You gotta be impressed with the strength of Cesaro when he lifted Sheamus over the top rope before connecting the superplex. Man, he was always fun to watch in WWE.
So strong.
Paul Heyman directs Sheamus to not let Sheamus breathe, so naturally the first thing Cesaro does is continue to let Sheamus breathe.
Notice how Heyman's head looks like Hornswoggle's?
Where the hell did that come from? Was Jerry Lawler somehow bored of this great back and forth match between Cesaro and Sheamus and chose to talk about head comparisons?
Going for the Doom's Box! No!
Sheamus countered the neutralizer, likely because he heard Paul Heyman literally shouting the instructions on what to do next. Maybe that's why Paul's partnership with Cesaro doesn't last long. Cesaro eventually had enough of Paul alerting his opponents, causing him to lose.
Calm down. Stay focused.
Michael Cole is repeating the wrong words of encouragement that we can actually hear Paul Heyman giving Cesaro. The Cesaro swing is fun, as shown by my years of playing the Spin Me Right Round song, but my one pet peeve about it is the fans are never on sync with how many times Cesaro is actually swinging his opponents. Like they jump the numbers when Cesaro has not even done a full cycle. What are the odds that Sheamus could have countered the swing at any moment, but chose not to because he loves going on twirly rides at amusement parks, hence why he was not affected by the swing whatsoever.
Cody and Goldust have not been able to...
Holy shit, it's one thing to show us something that took place earlier, but they are playing the audio of the recap while Michael Cole is narrating what's going on, and it's giving me a bad headache. One of the two must shut up. I would have honestly removed 5 sins if Ryback had accidentally whacked Curtis Axel in the back of the head during this moment. Everything about this match is a big waste of time, so it would have been nice to see one funny moment. You could tell the fans could care less about the match taking place when they're chanting for a hockey team that the rest of the world could care less about. Was Curtis Axel trying to use the Force to push Cody Rhodes off the top rope or something as a way to stop Cody from hitting the elbow drop on his arm? I don't think that's going to work. Nothing's more irritating than a Goldberg chant toward Ryback as he doesn't resemble Goldberg in any way, shape, or form.
The current champs, Jimmy and Jay, the Usos,
are currently doing nothing while the winners of this match don't get anywhere near the title picture.
He's probably right now. He's probably very sad to hear that.
The commentators are so bored with this match that they're talking about JBL's brother and the one time JBL threw him under the bus.
What kind of strategy?
Ryback tried to slam Goldust onto his own arm, but let go too early, which in turn made it a simple body slam.
Match pep talk. He didn't learn that. Oh, man.
What are the odds people are going to complain that it was Ryback's fault that Cody Rhodes slipped on the ropes and nearly shattered his neck on Ryback's shoulder? The way Curtis Axel saved Ryback from getting pinned, it looked more like he accidentally caused damage to Ryback's leg after colliding with it. Better hope Ryback doesn't blame Curtis for that later.
Telegraphed it. Shell shock.
That was less of a shell shock and more of a Samoan drop if you ask me.
You need a better tag team partner than me.
So let me paint myself up like you, call myself Stardust for the next 2 years, and realize my biggest mistake.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome.
If Lana had a full-length entrance complete with music and a promo, then why isn't she the one to introduce Rusev? When Big E got his name shortened from Big E Langston, WWE didn't even bother to change up his graphics. The way it looks in the background, you can clearly see the absence of the name Langston. Can't believe I'd say this, but the waving of the flags moment was far more entertaining than the actual match that takes place.
Man can't eat Big A and just...
We want Ziggler chants. Honestly, what was WWE thinking by having all these random matches on pay-per-view that nobody cared about?
And Rusev quickly back. Oh,
well, at least I got something to remove a sin for. Rusev had amazing timing when he leaped up and kicked Big E in the face. Got your nose.
Been that way. Client Deathby's got to tap out. He's got no chance.
Big E gave the audience the thumbs up gesture and then tapped out after that, basically translating to, this doesn't seem to hurt at all. Wait a minute, never mind. Ow, ow, this hurts, I'm tapping. Man, if only Daniel Bryan was telling Brie Bella the flaw of their plan to have Brie quit WWE in order to save Daniel from being stripped of the title. That flaw being Stephanie McMahon could just strip him of the title anyway.
Well, he learned he had a match.
So, in other words, we got an impromptu match here, for no reason other than WWE was always clueless in booking their pay-per-views without a brand split and had to throw in random names out of a hat.
All of a sudden, he's worthy to be on a pay-per-view like Payback?
Jerry Lawler says that as if being on a pay-per-view is prestigious, when literally anybody can be on a pay-per-view card.
Your hockey team are going to lose their match tonight.
Hockey games are not referred to as matches. That's like saying every wrestling match is a wrestling game. First, Kofi Kingston gets put into a random match with Bo Dallas. Bo makes a little speech, the match starts, and Kane randomly shows up to ruin everything. Hell, this only leads to Bo versus Kofi taking place tomorrow on Raw. And if they were never going to actually have this match take place tonight, why even do this at all?
All you have to do is...
Skip! Don't look at the Mountain Dew, don't look at the Mountain Dew, don't look at the... Oh, for the love of God, drink that shit already! You know what's unfortunate about this? We are not even 55 minutes into this 3-hour pay-per-view event and we're already on the 5th match of the card, with 3 more to go after this. The last 3 matches were covered in under 25 minutes. Talk about Russian shit.
LBD not get payback.
Wah, wah.
is gonna send RVD on a permanent summer vacation.
Well, that depends on where you're intending to send him, because not all places have permanent summer weather. You know, some have winter, so it wouldn't exactly... Okay, I'll shut up, Jesus.
I don't get why these guys are trying to go by 3 initials. That seems crazy.
The guy who calls himself JBL with 3 initials in the name is calling it crazy that wrestlers would go by names with 3 initials. Anyone else smell hypocrisy?
Barrett looking to connect with the bullhammer.
Does that look like Bad News Barrett is trying to connect the bullhammer on Rob Van Dam? Because to me, it looks like he's trying to escape the wrist lock currently applied by RVD.
What does Rob Van Dam have to do, John, to take the title?
Oh, I don't know. Maybe the exact same way that every challenger has to win the title from the champion, a pinfall or a submission. Michael, you've been doing this job for almost 20 years. How do you not know how this works?
13,311.
Fucks, I don't give about how many fans are in attendance tonight, and I fear Michael Cole is going to start talking about how many countries are watching worldwide next.
RVD, but it's not.
Convenient empty seats are convenient. Rob Van Dam should consider himself lucky he didn't throw Bad News Barrett and cause one of his long legs to whack a kid in the face.
Mr. Monday Night.
WWE champ.
RVD went back into the ring just to tell the referee back, as if the ref was a dangerous individual about to cause damage.
Oh, the apron and elbow right to the heart.
Even if the live camera was smaller compared to the replay screen, I could clearly see that Bad News did not hit an elbow drop to RVD's heart. It was actually an armpit to the heart, which likely smelled worse than any sort of pain that could have occurred.
Everybody wants to hear about bad news. It's good for television ratings.
As much as I hate to admit it, JBL is right. Nobody gives a shit about good news these days, but the moment something bad is taking place, they all tune in, and that's what sucks in this world. With how many times Bad News Barrett keeps hitting his elbow on things, it's a no wonder he keeps shattering it and vacates titles because of injuries.
Retains.
Even though Bad News relinquishes the Intercontinental Championship due to injury a few weeks later, we gotta applaud him for continuing in the match after smacking his elbow off the ring post and still winning. It's a shame too many injuries got him. He could have been one of WWE's very best in the business. That one moment when an in-ring segment on pay-per-view has its own video package like it's a main event match.
Surrender the WWE Championship.
No.
Honestly, what was Daniel Bryan's plan here? His neck injuries were too severe for him to compete, he'd be out for the rest of 2014, and he even said that WWE deserved a fighting champion, yet he still refused to relinquish the WWE Championship because it'd go back on everything he did to survive the Authority? The dude backed himself into the biggest corner there is. Also, Stephanie McMahon does know that she could have just stripped Daniel Bryan of the title regardless of his cooperation, right? It's not up to the champion to determine what happens in that scenario. There are so many messed up flaws in this situation.
If you surrender or if I take action against your wife.
So the ultimatum for this segment is relinquish the title or your wife is fired, which Stephanie could have just done regardless.
Unfortunate predicament that...
Okay, who's messing with the noises in the production truck? Triple H, what have we said about messing with your wife's audio when Shawn Michaels isn't around?
That you can do the right thing.
So, Daniel Bryan wants Stephanie McMahon to allow him to hang on to the WWE Championship for pretty much the rest of 2014 while he's sitting in physical therapy, not showing up, and not being a fighting champion like he said the fans deserved? Sounds very hypocritical to his own fan base if you ask me.
These people want you to quit, just like CM Punk did.
You may not like creative decisions, but you cannot deny that the McMahons can be absolute savages on the mic when it's required.
Narcissistic. What's that word that I'm looking for?
Bitch!
Just from the delivery of Brie Bella, that was the moment I honestly wanted her and Stephanie to fight at SummerSlam. The segment is extremely flawed, but that was awesome.
You can't fire me. I quit!
Brie Bella quits her job as a way of preventing her husband from relinquishing the WWE Championship, all just for Stephanie to strip Daniel of the title a week later, which in turn made this sacrifice a complete waste of time.
For John Cena, it's about payback.
Haha, we get it. The show's called Payback. Do you have to constantly say this match is about payback on a night called Payback? No shit!
Chicago.
Technically Rosemont, but go ahead. The Usos showed up to defend John Cena against the other members of the Wyatt family, likely because they had literally nothing to do for this pay-per-view event, just like they had nothing to do for the last few pay-per-view events despite being the tag team champions.
His way to the ring.
Just when you think the Wyatt family couldn't get any weirder, here's Bray Wyatt delivering nose kisses to Luke Harper.
He never give up, but that doesn't mean he can't be.
Entertaining as this last man standing match is, the moment you see Bray Wyatt hit the first shot that knocks over John Cena, that's when John has got to take his usual 15-minute beatdown, and in last man standing rules, we're going to be here for a while.
Shall we dance?
One of the scariest things Bray Wyatt has done with his near unconscious opponents was the ballroom dance routine. It's always the weirdest things that tend to be the scariest. Bray should probably realize that the referee is also counting him since he's technically not standing either.
Wyatt's out here barking at Lawler.
He's probably mad at Jerry Lawler because no one at the commentary desk is drinking the Mountain Dew, which is his favorite drink as well. Or maybe he said, if you ain't gonna drink that, Eric Rowe and Luke Harper and myself are going to.
And Wyatt's Sister Abigail.
That honestly was one of the coolest ways Bray Wyatt has connected Sister Abigail onto his opponents. Great timing on John Cena's part to fall back and then forward within 1 second.
And a count of 7. Oh my God!
Never before has the Exorcist walk been more effective in terms of horror and strategy. Freaks the shit out of John Cena and the referee, but also stops the 10 count because Bray Wyatt is technically standing up. Luke Harper is indirectly a dick to his own partner by knocking over Eric Rowan along with one of the Usos.
Watch out, Moose!
Well, I guess we're even now. Since they're twins and we can't tell the difference, I'll just assume that was Jimmy Uso who was a dick to Jay. How you can tell when someone is moving out of the way from a chair shot at the WWE, the wrestler with the chair aims for the head. After all the chaos that John Cena went through with Bray Wyatt, he is still hesitant to whack him with a steel chair. Also, John literally hit Bray with a chair a couple times before this moment of hesitation. Why is he hesitating now when he didn't do that mere seconds ago? Ow, my hands! Holy shit, that was actually awesome to see. Bray Wyatt sold that very well because getting stairs thrown in your face from high in the air like that is brutal. Honestly, where the hell have the Wyatt family and the Usos been for the last 10 minutes? Last we saw them, they flew into each other but weren't totally injured. Bray Wyatt is literally down for the count and the referee has ignored it completely, even when he saw him. Just because the Usos and the Wyatt family are causing carnage outside the ring doesn't mean the count is invalid. Count, you idiot!
Down here!
Holy shit! That one moment when the wrestlers who are not officially in this last man standing match are putting on more chaos and entertainment than the actual legal wrestlers competing.
Here, look out!
John Cena didn't even land on the pyrotechnic controls and yet they somehow went off. I know he didn't land on them because the explosion happened a good 1 second after the landing instead of instantly after. Also, that one awkward moment with the pyro blast from John Cena along with Kane earlier was the only time in the entire pay-per-view that pyrotechnics erupted at all. Seriously, look back. No opening pyro, not even any pyro for Kofi Kingston's traditional entrance. Damn, to all who say that John Cena always buries his opponents, here is John Cena literally burying his opponent. The "you can't see me" taunt was probably directed at both Bray Wyatt and the haters. He is so good. Bray Wyatt may be underneath the case, but he's not technically trapped since he could easily escape this opening right here. Boy, that's gotta suck for a Divas Championship match to be a literal calm down and use the bathroom match. These were the worst days in women's wrestling history.
Tonight.
What in the hell was that? We're only 15 seconds into this match and there's already a botch. If I don't hold it together, I may turn into Alicia Fox and throw a temper tantrum. Yikes.
Suplex Page into the...
Alicia Fox is already crying and throwing a tantrum from one single suplex. My god, somebody have holy water on standby because we may have to perform an exorcism here.
She was playing possum.
You just called Paige possum?
JBL can't be this stupid, right? Michael Cole clearly said that Alicia Fox was playing possum, and JBL automatically assumed Michael referred to Paige as a possum.
Whoever. You got me so...
I don't know if Alicia is a dick to that guy in the crowd by taking his drink, or if that guy was a dick for handing over an empty soda cup to Alicia. Decide.
Alicia's shoulders are on the mat. The referee needs a count.
You can't be that fucking serious. Alicia Fox's shoulders are clearly off the canvas, not on it. The referee isn't counting because he ain't as stupid as you are. It takes Paige longer to lock in the Paige tap out than it does for her opponent to actually tap out. Skip the damn pre-show panel, but also, are Booker T and Josh Matthews practicing COVID-19 social distancing rules on Alex Riley a full 6 years before the pandemic took place? What do you know that we don't? Tell us! I find it hilarious that The Shield and Evolution are having a no-holds-barred match at Payback, but at Extreme Rules a month prior, the show known for stipulated matches, they just had a traditional tag team match.
Payback, you will pep.
At Payback, you will pep. You know, at first I didn't understand the big deal about Blue Batista, but now I see it. Batista is the only member of Evolution wearing blue gear while everyone else is wearing black gear, thus making him stand out in the most awkward of ways.
Remember, there's no disqualifications.
Yes, because we totally don't know how a freaking no-holds-barred match works, Michael. Please don't tell me we have to hear that over and over again tonight. Also, the referee literally keeps these two teams back for nearly a full minute before realizing he should have signaled for the match to start. What are you waiting for?
Randy Orton and this Triple H.
I guarantee while beating the shit out of Seth Rollins, Triple H was negotiating with him about a deal with the Authority the next night on Raw.
Looking at control.
Honestly, we could use a split screen because there is too much going on to keep track of, so I guess we'll call it a bunch of whatever. Wait, whoa, hold on, time out. Weren't these guys beating the shit out of each other all over the place and in the ring? Why are we doing tags now? This is a no-holds-barred match, which practically translates to tornado rules. Anything goes, and there are no rules or limitations. Here are 10 sins. Why is the referee telling Dave to leave the ring? Are we just all going to forget the no-holds-barred rule that was heavily involved with the opening 5 minutes of this match? I take it back, Michael. I think we need the constant reminders about what this match is stipulated as.
Rushmore, according to you. John, I did not say.
Dean Ambrose rolled through to get to his partners, then realized he overshot it and had to turn to the left. Weren't you guys literally just beating the shit out of each other 5 minutes ago? What happened to all that? Now you're just staring at each other all night long? This literally goes on for 50 seconds.
Shield.
Where is Dean Ambrose going with this? Tags into the match and then prepares to attack Hunter's ass. Here's where I add another 15 sins. Hunter waited until the referee was distracted by Randy Orton and Seth Rollins before joining Dave Bautista on the attack of Dean Ambrose. The reason for the 15 sins is the referee has no reason to direct traffic and tell the competitors to get back in their corners because it's a fucking no-holds-barred match!
No holds barred.
I'm actually convinced that the reminders are being directed to the wrestlers because everyone must have completely forgotten that stipulation for the last 15 minutes, and when you're not treating a no-holds-barred match like a no-holds-barred match, then it sucks. Dave is begging Hunter to stop Dean from tagging out when he could honestly just do it himself. It is legal after all.
Now chaos again.
About time. It only took them 20 freaking minutes to realize they could have just done this for the whole match with no consequences.
Batista's gonna try to plant Roman Reigns.
Shield right infringement.
Triple H.
Alright, now we're cooking. Got some awesome action going on, and what a brutal pedigree onto the chair, especially on the stage floor. Ouch.
Elimination match now.
Evolution tore off Roman Reigns' outfit and revealed his eventual look as the Tribal Chief. Take a guess whose favor this eventually ends up working out for. Not gonna lie, this was an insane torture chamber of carnage. One member of Evolution holds down Roman Reigns on the metal stairs while the other two members whack him with kendo sticks.
Oh my God! Seth Rollins!
Just when it seemed like Seth Rollins was done for, there he is leaping from the entrance setup. Love that moment.
Cover! It's 3-2. Cover! Hook of the leg. He got it.
After almost 30 minutes of no eliminations, literally all the eliminations take place within seconds of each other. You know what's honestly sad about this? This match where the Shield beat Evolution in a clean sweep showed how powerful they truly were as a faction and nobody could stop them now. And within 24 hours, it's all over. When they were at their best, they died.
When will your sins be paid?
When the sinner himself decides that you have paid your dues and collects enough power of sin to rule the entire... Oh, you're not talking about me, sorry.
Sins of your destruction.
Last year, WWE overused the shit out of the word retribution for their Payback event. Now, this year, they're overusing conveniently the word sin, which used to be the name of a WCW pay-per-view event.
Retribution.
Damn it, I just had to bring up Retribution, didn't I? Normally, Sheamus has non-pyro for this new entrance, but in this case, there's a pyro explosion from behind the stage, which makes me wonder why they didn't just blow up pyro literally on the stage where Sheamus was present. You know, for the fans to actually see.
Susie Chapstick.
Since this match with Sheamus and Dolph Ziggler involved a Kiss My Ass match at Extreme Rules, tonight we got JBL making so many references to kissing and chapstick.
Make Sheamus pay.
Dolph Ziggler must be obsessed showing off his teeth after perfectly brushing them. Remember to brush your teeth twice daily, folks.
Wait a minute, Sheamus.
Get into those in a moment.
I find it funny that Sheamus attempted to reason with Dolph Ziggler before the bell even rung just to smack him in the face. I wonder how the hell Dolph did not see that obvious scam coming.
There's coming out of the box on fire.
Here's another obvious scam, because Sheamus softly fell to the floor outside and didn't believably injure anything. Wonder if Dolph is going to fall for this one too.
And down for the victory. Sheamus in 2.
Actually, Sheamus kicked out at 1, not 2. The audience counting along just didn't realize it, but the referee did.
Sheamus admits that Dolph is a great kisser.
Ha ha, fuck you. But also, if anyone didn't know about the Kiss My Ass match that took place at Extreme Rules, this would be an awkward line for them to hear, causing questions.
If a guy's beating you up, it's not called bullying. You can call it whatever you want.
First, JBL said that beating someone up is not called bullying, then proceeds to say you could call it whatever you want, which takes away his earlier statement.
A new look wants to strike fear into.
No disrespect to Sheamus, but shaving part of your head, creating a spiky mohawk, and tying up your beard with beads isn't exactly going to strike fear to your opponents. Since day one, everyone's been laughing at the look.
He had something to prove.
Well, let's see. You've got a lot of saliva dripping on your beard, which also looks weird, and the mohawk isn't suiting well with you, so no, I'm not entertained.
Sheamus, oh, stop, yes!
Perfect representation of Payback is a bitch. Without the need of anyone literally saying it, Dolph Ziggler spreads his ass in Sheamus' face and gets revenge for what Sheamus should have done after losing at Extreme Rules. Although the kissing sound effects that Jerry Lawler is making kinda ruins the mood. We don't need to hear actual kissing sounds to confirm that's what Dolph forced Sheamus to do.
Young people are watching, women are watching.
And yet JBL was perfectly fine with Sheamus spreading his ass in Dolph's face back at Extreme Rules without a worry about young children and women watching.
Oh, wow!
Dolph Ziggler delivers a headbutt to Sheamus and then proceeds to blade. I know he bladed because you could see him subtly swipe across his forehead after hitting Sheamus. What was the point of blading when it leads straight to your loss?
I got a feeling this is not over.
Why, just because the bad guy won the match? Hell, Sheamus won fair and square, no cheating whatsoever. So what reason will they have to keep going after 2 consecutive pay-per-view matches?
Let's just put all of the animosity behind us.
Heel wrestler wants to let bygones be bygones with former friend, knowing full well he's at a disadvantage if he doesn't try cliche.
Triple H trying to get me fired.
I'm surprised he hasn't yet.
You literally asked Kane to forgive and forget 15 seconds ago. Now you're reiterating your complaint about Kane not being fired? Boy, Seth Rollins can't make up his mind.
So maybe I'll just stand idly by and watch.
Kane does none of that. By laughing at J&J Security for trying to look intimidating in front of him, Kane would be great at CinemaSins 2 expansion. No way those two could look intimidating in front of the 7-foot Kane.
Hashtag POP!
Promoting hashtags. Oh man, the days of 2015, where that phrase was constantly used in these videos.
I'm positive you have no friends, Michael.
Even after Michael Cole turned face and became a professional commentator again, Jerry Lawler is still making fun of him. I'm starting to think maybe it was Jerry who caused the villainous turn of Michael all those years ago. To show how much he's in support of the WWE, Adam Jones holds up a WWE Championship that no longer exists, much like the chances of the Orioles winning another World Series no longer exists.
It's New Day Rock.
Apparently, the entrance of Tyson Kidd and Cesaro requires a camera to hang out behind the fans and look up at the ceiling as it rises. Cesaro wearing a face mask at a time when it's not required, unless he's walking into this match with a bad case of the flu.
Baseball players showing their support here, and these guys come out and insult them?
The New Day didn't insult the baseball players because they're supporting WWE. They insulted them because their team sucks.
Pass was made, but he knows now.
Cesaro must have poor sense of direction if he intended to drop Kofi Kingston on top of Big E. Missed it by a lot.
Tyson Kidd says okay!
The only thing impressive about this moment was Cesaro being able to balance Kofi Kingston above like that. Tyson Kidd didn't do much damage when he leaped off the top rope, or any damage for that matter, since Cesaro fell back before he could get a grip on Kofi.
The sudden stop!
Boy, Tyson Kidd and Cesaro are not having good timing with their double team efforts, am I right? Kofi was already on the ground before Tyson could connect the drop kick.
First fall, it's Cesaro!
Damn, imagine not getting drop kicked and somehow that was enough to pin you for a 3 count. Sure, it's 2 out of 3 falls, but no way Kofi was finished from not getting hit at all.
Freebird rule! No!
Xavier Woods thinks that the Freebird rule means that he can get involved in the match at any time. The Freebird rule only applies to every member of a team sharing the tag team titles, you moron. Xavier Woods at ringside barely got hit by Natalya at all in the slap, yet is still complaining about the pain that happened like 6 minutes ago. He must be very vulnerable when it comes to the smallest of pain, if you ask me. Xavier Woods seems to be more entertaining than the actual title match going on, with his rants to the commentators. I don't know if that should be a sin or mover on his part or a sin on the match's part. Since I'm confused, I'll just go with the standard 1.
We know! We are well aware!
Okay, looks like I'll be removing the sin after all. The crowd chants, "This is awesome," and Xavier Woods responds with an annoyed, "We are well aware." Now the match and Xavier are awesome. I find it hilarious that the camera made sure not to show the midnight hour because Big E dropped before Kofi Kingston could get a grip on Tyson Kidd, but even at that angle, I could still see it. This moment was fun to watch, with Cesaro throwing Kofi into the corners and hitting an uppercut while the audience are having fun with it. This is the excitement you like to see.
You okay, Michael? Darn. Rats.
Jerry Lawler and JBL asked if Michael Cole was alright after Big E got thrown into him, then proceeded to pout in disappointment when Michael confirmed it. Dicks.
Hey, wait a minute, look at this! Wait a minute!
Unfair as that is, it's also an amazing heel strategy for Xavier Woods to sneak in, pretending to be Kofi Kingston, to get the victory for the New Day. The days of the heel New Day were honestly some of their best. It'd be nice to see that again.
What's your mindset as you head into your match against Bray Wyatt?
I'm gonna ask if Bray Wyatt likes ruffles. That one moment when they used the same picture of Bray Wyatt on the graphic of Payback 2015 as they did in Payback 2014. Also, Bray Wyatt targets Ryback for no reason other than he had nothing to do and needed to pass the time. Sounds similar to CM Punk in 2013. Why is Ryback always the pass the time guy?
them.
With another pay-per-view involving Ryback comes another Sins video involving the infamous Ryback's non-pyro sin. You love to see it, even when all the years pass by. There's not a lot of events involving Ryback left to sin, so enjoy it while you still can. Not a lot of Sins videos left for this extremely well-known phrase either, so soak it in while I set it up. Because who gives a shit about Hulu?
SmackDown King Ryback was heading into a match with Seth Rollins.
Hearing that just makes me irritated at how pathetic SmackDown was in this era. While feuding with Bray Wyatt, Ryback is randomly in a match with WWE Champion Seth Rollins, who likely hasn't even spoken the name Ryback since winning the title. Randomness and filler SmackDown was.
Best press.
Normally, Ryback shoves his opponents down to the mat when he does this move, but here he's just dropping Bray Wyatt, who suffers 0 damage from it.
Bray was asked why he targeted Ryback. He simply said, Ryback was in my way.
That's it? That is the reason Bray Wyatt attacked Ryback? Last I checked, Bray was the one who attacked Ryback first prior to a match that had nothing to do with him. How is Ryback in your way? That's just lazy booking. 2 minutes of 2 attempts of Bray Wyatt trying to get Ryback counted out.
This is Bray Wyatt.
Ryback is sitting in the corner helpless. Better stand on the second rope above him and pose for the audience. I'm sure he won't suddenly sit up and take advantage of my stupidity. I ain't stupid at all. Fear me!
Finish it.
And because Ryback keeps shouting finish it in his matches, it's a no wonder that his opponents are alerted on what's about to happen and are fully prepared to counter it.
Effective home runs.
Watch it. Oh.
Ryback started to throw himself into the exposed turnbuckle before Bray Wyatt could even shove him. I guess he wanted to lose on purpose, if that's the case. No wonder Ryback is dumb as fuck. If there's an I Quit match involving John Cena, then there is no reason for it to even exist, as no idiot could possibly think he's going to lose it. John Cena wins. That's a spoiler from the moment the challenge is issued. Also, Rusev must have lost his marbles. He's already lost to John Cena in a singles match at WrestleMania, followed by a Russian chain match at Extreme Rules. So how does he think, I couldn't beat him in those simple matches. Might as well try an I Quit match. Conveniently, the one match that John has never lost in his entire career.
That started all the way back at the Royal Rumble.
Well, that doesn't make any sense. At the 2015 Royal Rumble, John Cena was in the WWE title match with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, while Rusev nearly won the Royal Rumble match. Neither man was involved in the other's path, so how did this feud start literally at the Royal Rumble?
I can't imagine either one of them saying it.
Normally that'd be the case, but whoever faces John Cena in an I Quit match tends to believably say the words during the build-up. Boy, this t-shirt with the United States title is gonna look awkward if John Cena competes without the actual United States title. I never got why John Cena holds a championship above his head backwards like that. Sure, it gives the camera a view of the title, but it's awkward because we, no pun intended, can't see the face of the actual champion, and the fans John is facing can't see the title either.
John Cena!
Holy shit, just when you think we can get a fresh and new look for an I Quit match involving John Cena, we are literally replaying the one with Dave Bautista at Over the Limit in 2010 and the one with The Miz at Over the Limit in 2011. I'm already predicting Rusev is going to literally say the words I quit and the referee stupidly does nothing about it despite the rules.
And say the words I quit!
Called it. Rusev said it. He lost. Fuck you.
He's going to hold on to that microphone.
The fans are chanting USA, but I think this is where Rusev thought to himself, are they saying Rusev Day? I'm gonna hang on to that idea for a while. And the most annoying thing about any I Quit match involving John Cena is the moment he takes all the time in the world thinking about it. Since none of us believe you'll actually say those words, there's no reason to consider the possibility, asshole. Also, why would John Cena consider possibly saying I Quit right now when he suffered literally 0 damage and there hasn't even been a single punch thrown? Not to mention he's gotten 2 consecutive wins over Rusev on pay-per-view by this point. The fans are chanting, we want Lana, despite the fact that she's actually there. You already got her. What more do you want? All Rusev did was stomp on John Cena a few times, and that somehow gave him enough time to berate Lana and force her to sit down in a chair before returning to the ring, where John is still lying on the ring canvas.
Look at that, what a drop kick!
Do you want to quit?
Rusev couldn't beat John Cena with a dropkick in any of their 3 previous matches, so he figures it'll get the job done in their 4th encounter. What doesn't make any sense about this dissension between Rusev and Lana is Rusev getting mad at Lana for the fans chanting her name. It's not like she can do anything about what the fans say. Rusev wasting valuable time waving the Russian flag when he could be continuing the beatdown on John Cena. Waving the flag isn't going to make John quit, you moron.
Do you want to quit?
No.
Do you want to quit?
No.
Rusev just might be the biggest idiot in this match. He tells the referee to ask John if he quits. John says no, so Rusev figures asking him a second time will work. If he said no the first time, he's gonna say no the second time. Rusev tweets, another longtime enemy of mine on these WWE Sins.
The first time in this matchup that Rusev's been asked the question.
Well, I guess that's worth taking a sin off since the match is not entirely John Cena being asked and his opponent being asked only at the moment when he quits.
I'm gonna put you through this wall right now!
John Cena taking a page from his opponents in previous I Quit matches by warning Rusev what he's going to do if he doesn't quit. Interesting callback, though he was tied up in those previous instances. Here, Rusev has a chance to counter whatever John says will happen.
Oh my God, Cena!
Boy, that was a fail. Could have been an awesome moment where Rusev Alabama slams John Cena through the table, but he slowed down and gave him a slide instead. Rusev may be down, but now's not the time to pretend to be playing Minecraft on a laptop, John. Sorry, but if the Alabama slams through the table didn't work out the first time, watching it succeed the second time loses its impact. Winner of Payback 2015 to bring you Bragging Rights 2009, where Randy Orton played around with the pyrotechnics conveniently against John Cena.
Cena with the AA!
Oh, come on. The buttons to activate the pyrotechnics are on the side of the stage, not literally in the pyro themselves. So if Rusev collapsed on the technics, that doesn't trigger their explosions. Also, the sounds of the blast is off sync to Rusev's actual collapse. Not to mention, John is somehow affected by the blast, which makes me question how he's able to handle pyro blast when he celebrates with a newly won championship. The replay is literally paused because the production team showed it right as Rusev is being asked if he quits. He obviously isn't saying it right now, so go ahead and show the replay. Out of all the things that Rusev has demanded John Cena to quit, the one thing he doesn't do is ask the referee if John quits when the accolade is locked in.
Cena's out! Wait a minute,
John Cena is unconscious, to which Rusev believes he's won the match. I know that it's his first I Quit match, but even he knows that he can only win when John says the words, right? Right? Don't worry, guys, he isn't quitting, he's ordering pizza. The words he's repeating is, make sure to include the pineapple.
It's gonna break your leg!
Jerry Lawler is worried that John Cena is going to break Rusev's leg when the STF is not directed mostly on the leg. It's Rusev's face being pulled by the top rope that should be the main concern. Some would say that Lana was merely translating what Rusev was saying, confirming John Cena wins the match. To me, I think Lana was secretly using this to her advantage as an act of revenge for Rusev verbally abusing her for weeks due to the fans chanting, "We want Lana." Perhaps Rusev never actually quit, we will never know.
I Quit match!
American flags non-pyro pyro. Skip the damn pre-show panel.
We do not curse. What the hell?
Gotta love the comedy of the New Day. Xavier Woods claimed the New Day doesn't curse, then proceeds to curse immediately when he hears something he doesn't like. The entire existence of Nikki Bella's trash title reign as Divas champion. Here she is, once again, not defending on pay-per-view, preferring to team with Brie Bella instead.
The state of mind of Brie Bella.
Michael Cole believes Brie Bella is not in a good state of mind due to Daniel Bryan potentially retiring from in-ring action. What he should probably realize is this character likely isn't thinking about her husband at all.
And Nikki caught Naomi.
Not really. The kick was close to Naomi, but still missed her completely. Not a good start to this random match that accomplishes nothing for the near future of Nikki Bella's title reign.
Almost got there.
Are we positive that it was Nikki Bella who ends up suffering the various neck injuries here? Because the twin magic could have potentially confused us apart, and it was Brie the entire time.
Brie was driven.
I get that Brie was in trouble when Tamina tossed her into the barricade, but Nikki seriously got distracted by that when she didn't even see what happened to her sister? It's not like Brie called out for help or anything.
In the barricade. Oh no! Nikki looks at Naomi.
Falling off the top rope and landing on the canvas in a simple body slam-like fashion was somehow enough to put away the longest reigning Divas champion. Let that sink in. Rusev is probably mad because the pizza delivery guy forgot the pineapple like he repeatedly requested. Second Payback event in a row featuring a video package of Daniel Bryan in a position to relinquish his title due to neck injuries. Only this time it doesn't lead to an in-ring segment. Instead we got King Barrett taking on Neville because... reasons.
He's a king and he's never disrespectful.
Show off.
Look at this. Whoa! Neville.
How the hell did King Barrett fall for that? Was he so impressed with Neville's flips that he didn't realize what was going on? Come on, man. Pay attention. King Barrett moves out of the way when he briefly catches a glimpse of his opponent about to do something. Also, King Barrett gets hit when he's looking directly at his opponent way before the connection.
King Toucan Sam.
How the hell does the mascot of Fruit Loops come into a conversation during a match between Neville and King Barrett? That's what I want to know.
Boat race.
Neville is down and vulnerable to losing the match, but King Barrett decides to taunt around like he's got all the time in the world. Take a wild guess who ends up losing this match tonight. Maybe if you didn't keep yelling at Neville to get up, you would have actually connected the Bullhammer elbow. For someone who just won the King of the Ring, Bad News Barrett is such a dumbass. This moment always gives off anxiety when I see Neville slowly rising, taking all the time in the world to connect the red arrow after he's already perched on the top rope.
Get back. Maybe he wasn't.
Neville and King Bear faced off in many matches on Raw and pay-per-view, including the finals of the King of the Ring tournament. Yet here we are with another useless count of victory to continue this feud. Don't you just hate it when frustrating cliffhangers are unnecessary?
Hey, watch out, watch out! Oh, Barrett!
Post-match assault. I love Fatal 4-Way matches as much as the next guy, but tonight would have been one of the most perfect opportunities to have the former Shield members battle for the WWE title without Randy Orton in the mix, especially when Payback was the last pay-per-view in the Shield's existence up until 2017. Also, this match initially started out as a triple threat match between Seth Rollins, Roman Reigns, and Randy Orton. Then Dean Ambrose was bored one day and wanted to get added to the match, realizing it was that easy to get a world title match. Forgot to mention this theme song kicks ass. Imagine Dragons Friction was a great choice for this Payback event. So Kane's job is on the line in this match, meaning he's fired as Director of Operations if Seth Rollins doesn't win tonight. Man, even I can tell that Kane is going to inevitably help Seth before the match takes place. That's why I wasn't too concerned. Honestly, it still feels awkward to have Roman Reigns enter through the crowd when the Shield doesn't exist anymore. Due to the character of Dean Ambrose, I'd say he'd be the perfect guy to still enter through the crowd. Random sign of the crowd makes me miss the concept of the Fatal 4-Way pay-per-view that happened only one time in existence. With the championships we got later on in the WWE, that would have been the perfect time to bring that pay-per-view back, wouldn't y'all agree? All these years later, I'm still trying to figure out why the cameras focus on the WWE logo and goes around it every time Seth Rollins makes an entrance. Haven't come up with an answer yet.
1,000 other alternatives that could happen for Seth to lose.
There is actually only 18 different ways Seth Rollins could lose the WWE title tonight. Being pinned or submitted by either of the three challengers, that's already 6 ways. Or each of the three challengers pinning or submitting each other, that's an additional 12 ways. My math is weird, but it makes more sense than Scott Steiner.
Remember, no disqualifications.
Michael Cole had to repeat the no disqualification stipulation at least 3 times in the last 20 seconds, which we all kind of figured out just by seeing J&J Security attacking everyone. Gotta love the fast and furious pace to start off this Fatal 4-Way main event. That was an awesome dive by Roman Reigns.
The action of John's
matches, I would imagine.
Alright, that was a funny moment where Randy Orton starts pounding away on Dean Ambrose, to which Dean responds by reversing and punching faster. Seth Rollins is down. Why are Dean Ambrose and Roman Reigns silently communicating about who gets to attack Seth next? Just take him out of the equation and focus on trying to win the title.
Kane! What?
Wow, who could have seen this amazing twist coming? Kane chose to side with Seth Rollins in the end after all that's happened? Pfft, totally unpredictable here.
Goodness.
And now
Kane's slap didn't even connect with Randy Orton at all, yet it still somehow worked to his advantage. Jamie Noble started to fall into the ring apron before Dean Ambrose connected with a clothesline.
Kane again!
With how many times Kane and J&J Security have interfered with the match, how are they not actual participants? Might as well just label this a 7-pack challenge or something. The referee is yelling at Kane to stay outside the ring despite the fact that there are no rules against outside interference. You got no power here except to count the pin or record the submission. I'm just saying. Joey Mercury should consider himself lucky that he didn't successfully grab hold of Seth Rollins' foot. If he did, something seriously wrong could have happened, causing a big injury.
Look at this! Seth was trying to quarterback.
Even if it was only for 1 minute, this brief reunion of the Shield was bone-chilling. You could feel the intensity return to its place when Dean, Seth, and Roman teamed up on Randy Orton. This was freaking awesome.
Reuniting one time only!
Until the next several hundred times. The smiles on Dean and Roman's faces disappearing was also awesome to watch. Goes to show they are not falling for this trick again. Haha, the table didn't break. Roman Reigns and Dean Ambrose had to lift Kane up and do that powerbomb a second time just to break the table.
Who's your buy some beers?
Not gonna lie, I love this sequence. Dean and Roman agreed to go back into the ring and fight fairly. Not to mention Roman's suggestions of loser buys the beers was a great addition.
Inside the ring.
Great Superman punch.
Oh.
That was a great series of moves hit at the correct time, and back and forth is how we like our Fatal 4-Way matches.
RKO! RKO! Power slam!
Seriously, what a chaotic match. 2 RKOs and a power slam catching Seth Rollins in midair. You love to see it.
WWE Payback.
WWE airs the promo package after New Day segment. No opening pyro. Where and when did New Day get those refreshments? Enzo accidentally dropped his microphone.
My name is Enzo Amore. This is Big Cass.
Just in case you forgot what our names were. I love these catchphrases, but does this word soft have a different meaning than the original soft? Black and white.
Introducing on their way to the ring.
on their way to the ring, the vaudevillains are already in the ring. Those jabs were obviously not effective.
Now, one match away. Oh, man!
Since this is a serious situation, I'm just gonna shut the fuck up and move on without sending this out of respect for Enzo.
Payback is presented by Tap Out.
Skip! Kevin's ongoing random feud with Michael Cole that makes no sense at all.
Shut up.
Kevin telling the referee to shut up was hilarious as fuck.
Still not done. He's still going.
The referee counted up to 4 and should have said 5 way before Sammy let go of Kevin. Sammy should have been disqualified there.
The referee understands how personal this matchup is, John.
Oh, that didn't mean you allowed him to break the rules.
JBL, stop saying what I'm supposed to say.
Kevin Owens, straight boot to the face.
You mean there's such a thing as a gay boot to the face? 30 minutes into this pay-per-view, I actually thought we weren't going to see any trends. How we've all been disappointed.
Oh, man!
How does anyone survive that without injury?
Owens looking for a powerbomb to the apron. Sami Zayn counter.
Kevin somehow survived that without injury.
Now, that is a prize fighter.
I give props to these two for putting on a great match. Post-match beatdown. Looks like they found Melina's old red carpet backstage.
Accompanied by Maurice.
It's Maurice, not Maurice. Who gives a shit about Hulu?
Appreciate that, John.
Jeez, moves like that give me no choice.
It almost sounds like you're trying to convince yourself that you're a good commentator, but everyone knows that's not the case.
Kevin would be great at CinemaSins 2 expansion. Who cares what's trending?
Oh, wow.
That is complete power. Vertical super.
Tweets.
What? The hell is that? Sami Zayn.
I know I'm going to get hate for this, but Sammy got beat fair and square. Why can't he get over it? It happens. Grabbing the tights for leverage on victory.
We are still awaiting more info from the medical center here tonight.
Michael got more info on Enzo's injury, but he keeps reading the papers that were already there to begin with. I've been wondering for a while on why Chris's trunks say GOAT. I mean, what does that even mean? He's not Daniel Bryan.
Watch out.
Bat table.
Jericho looking for a follow-up.
And Jericho.
Dean was watching Chris the whole time and could have done anything to counter Chris's baseball slide, but he just lets Chris take this hit.
Right here in this building.
Dean, you can't pin him on the floor. Running away on your knees. The referee hasn't disqualified Chris for putting his hands on him.
He's killing me.
He's killing me? That's the lamest excuse of the entire world. And you're supposed to be a veteran.
6-time world champion, 9-time intercontinental champion, 7 tag team titles. You're like a parrot.
John calls Byron a parrot for listing Chris's accomplishments, even though John himself constantly reminds us of Brock Lesnar's accomplishments. Who's the parrot now? Trying to watch the match here. Stop distracting me with tweets.
Problem is when you're in that, and I have been in that, you can't breathe.
Yes, you can. I've been in that hole before. It hurts like hell, but you can breathe.
Ambrose with a... Ooh!
How does anyone fall for that anymore? Like, seriously.
Jericho's got it in good.
Does this count as tapping out? I mean, I know Dean was hitting himself in the face, but he was doing it in a tapping motion. Guess the referee didn't see it.
And Jericho with an enziguri.
Dean could have easily ducked that as he was watching Chris the whole time.
Come on, ref!
The referee's behind you, not in front of you. Mauro Ranallo is not at the commentary table. Does Charlotte have her own gimmick yet? No? Not even during what we call the new era? Also, Charlotte's still wearing Ric Flair's robe. Previously on WWE.
And
Charlotte kicking the rope wouldn't have done any damage to Natalya at all. For one thing, Natalya was going under the second rope and Charlotte kicked the second rope up. So instead of stunning Natalya, it just allowed her to get a better entrance to the ring. I don't think that knee was even close enough to be convincing.
What Charlotte has been to this division.
Whatever.
Charlotte hung up in the corner.
Copyright infringement.
Charlotte.
I think Rick knew I was sending this and told me to keep my mouth shut. Nope.
Brett realizes that Natalya is in trouble here.
No, he's thinking to himself, 4 out of 10.
Oh, look at shoulders down.
The referee said 2, but his hand never hit the mat.
Oh! Suplex.
Man, the ropes are really the villains of this night. Charlotte committing more copyright infringement during the replay.
Charlotte with a sharpshooter.
Insult to injury.
Wait a minute. What the?
You have got to be fucking kidding me. Is it just because Bret Hart is at ringside? I swear, this really pissed me off more than you could ever know. ripping off the Montreal Screwjob at the hands of the copyright infringement chick in front of Brett. Major punishment here. 10 cents for Charlotte being the one doing it, another 10 cents for Charlotte using the same sharpshooter that Shawn used on Brett 19 years ago, 5 cents because of no originality, and finally 50 cents for copying the Montreal Screwjob.
This is not happening. This is not happening. And look at Bret Hart with a right hand.
Thank you.
Bret Hart with a sharpshooter. Flair tapping out. Charlotte tapping out. You can't do that to a father.
But even though this was punishment to Charlotte, I still have no choice but to say copyright infringement to Natalya.
John, you saw that with your plain as day. Look, that's certainly what it looks like. We don't know for sure.
John Blind Layfield.
No-brainer.
I'm totally fine with the fans singing along to entrance themes, but the sin here is they are all off sync to the music, which makes it annoying.
Under the Authority's leadership, we saw the biggest WrestleMania in WWE's history.
But the Authority wasn't in charge by WrestleMania 17.
Shane McMahon thinks that he can run Monday Night Raw.
Ah, you failed.
And that leaves only one choice.
Teddy Long?
Come on, you lost the match to The Undertaker. You shouldn't even be standing in the ring.
If I recall, you said nothing about Shane having to win the match in order to gain control of Raw back when you first made the match official. You just said he had to compete, which he did.
And you both are running Monday Night Raw.
I know the segment was about who gains control of WWE Raw, but this was 20 minutes too long. Skip the damn pre-show panel.
Including Raw, SmackDown, and all pay-per-views will remain PG.
No!
I don't care what Roman Reigns thinks.
Wow, 2 pay-per-views in a row, Michael messes up Roman's name. We went from Rowan Waynes to Roman Brains. There's the new trend. Hashtag Roman Brains. More trends.
Roman Reigns looks to back him.
New Day chant copyright infringement. So much slow movements. We are already 6 minutes into this match, and so far all we've seen was a couple of shoulder tackles, a few hits, and AJ hanging out on the outside of the ring while slowly approaching the ring. And he did that more than once.
He took everything Brock Lesnar had. And by the end of that match a couple years ago at WrestleMania.
That was last year, not a couple of years ago.
Styles to the ring, but Roman Reigns, the champion, is going to be counted out.
The match ending in countouts and disqualifications just to give this event more time. Also, this match had Roman retain the championship 3 freaking times.
But in the new era, that is not how a championship match is going to be defined.
Even though one of our title matches just ended in a copy of the Montreal Screwjob about an hour ago. Roman clearly hit AJ in the gut, not down below. And normally when superstars fake themselves being hit in the groin, it's so they can win the match and save their title. Yet AJ was not even the champion, so this looks like AJ didn't even want to be champion in the first place.
Roman's on the move! Roman's on the move! Reigns flies!
Wow. I'll admit, that was pretty amazing.
Styles wasn't there.
Byron's high-pitched what?
I fully support your decision.
Because us fighting against each other got thrown out the window within seconds of us being in charge together. This is going to be a recurring thing until Brock Lesnar actually appears on pay-per-view and defends the WWE Universal Championship. WWE Payback 2017 gets an automatic 30 sins for their top champion not showing up on pay-per-view to defend the championship or have a match, period. I don't give a shit what his contract says. The fact of the matter is that Brock's absence was not, repeat, not justified in the storyline, and they're acting like Raw's top championship doesn't even exist. With all the broken glass I see, I was actually tempted to say, am I watching WWE Breaking Point by accident?
And this is a Raw exclusive pay-per-view.
Wow, we totally did not know that. Kevin Owens, the Canadian who's the face of America. That gimmick has the irony of him not being from America at all, though I think it'd be better if he threw the US title away and created the WWE Canada Championship. Just my opinion. The graphics forgot to display Kevin Owens' name until after his entrance was already over.
In the Superstar Shakeup.
Because for some reason, WWE Draft sounded lame from the company's point of view.
Kevin Owens.
We interrupt WWE Payback 2017 to bring you WWE Fastlane 2017.
Start things off again tonight. Remember,
Kevin seemingly has no peripheral vision and could have easily seen Chris Jericho running toward him while he was arguing with the referee.
America, and oh!
Ow, my hands!
Abraham Lincoln, JFK, can add Kevin Owens to that prestigious list.
That is 100% stupid to add Kevin Owens to the list of American heroes. He's not even a freaking American. I know that's the point of the gimmick, but it's not immune to the sins.
Jericho goes 6 foot tall,
Don't even start listing his height, weight, and accomplishments.
A former NXT.
Activating the 10-sin penalty almost right off the bat on this pay-per-view. At least this means you don't have to worry about it later on in the night, as certain sin penalties can only be activated once per video.
13,000.
Commentator announces number of people in attendance as though we give a shit cliche. Also, Michael Cole proved that he actually has no idea how much fans are in attendance because he was about to say 16,000 but dropped down to 13,000 instead.
That's perfectly legal, Booker.
No. That was just a cheap shot.
But it's still legal, so cheap or not, it's allowed and thus doesn't qualify as cheating as no rules have been broken.
Top rope, KO does no idea.
Huh? KO does no idea? How does that statement make any sense whatsoever?
Jericho countered! Whoa! Beautiful!
Correct, Booker. Indeed, that was beautiful. Chris Jericho is a dick to fingers.
Just crippled the new finger of America.
New finger of America. I don't care what anyone says. That phrase is very sinful. No one cares what's trending.
And Owens has got to tap out! Jericho!
Guarantee even you guys didn't see that coming. With Chris's tour dates coming up along with his busy schedule, we all figured Kevin Owens would take this one. Just goes to show that even WWE can still surprise us. 6 fucking minutes of commercials on a pay-per-view event. WWE Payback 2017 is taking a break already. This event is now called WWE Cruiserweight.
We've never seen.
And now everyone in the arena just shit their pants. Who gives a shit about Hulu?
Handled it, and he is unstoppable.
Austin Aries and his dance skills. Don't get me wrong, they're good, but I find that weird to be his way of getting out of an arm submission.
That doesn't mean you gotta bring in the NBA references.
Why the hell are we talking about the NBA during a Cruiserweight title match on a WWE pay-per-view?
He doesn't care.
He feeds off of it.
Yeah, but right.
Oh la 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 la. There's a rule about putting wrestlers in holes that legitimately choke them, yet this referee ain't even acknowledging that. I'm sorry guys, I'm just saying because I've seen that rule performed so many times, and in this moment where Austin is literally strangling Neville in the last chancery, that rule is ignored.
Break the hold in the official.
The referee called for the disqualification, like he should be in a situation like that. Unfortunately, the only mistake he made was he signaled to the freaking crowd, not the timekeeper. The crowd is not in possession of the ring bell. Previously on WWE Payback.
Corey, it was Matt Hardy versus Sheamus.
Oh my freaking god! Not only did Michael Cole confuse Jeff Hardy with Matt Hardy, but at the same time he also confused Cesaro with Sheamus. I may just have to add a double sin for that cringe mistake.
He's a 4-time WWE champ.
Sheamus has had this hairstyle for over 2 years now, and the fans still think that it looks stupid. At this point, they should have gotten over it as the "you look stupid" chants don't affect Sheamus anymore.
Before they meet the New Day.
The Dew Day? Who's the Dew Day? A tag team that always drinks Mountain Dew on their way to the ring? And now I'm pissed off again because the commentators never drink their Mountain Dew when they have it.
More out than we thought. Oh, God!
Sheamus committing murder on Jeff Hardy's tooth. Never thought I'd ever say that in these videos.
And now the toothless Jeff Hardy.
We get it. Jeff lost the tooth. It's not completely unheard of in WWE matches. Or are you continuously reminding everyone that Jeff lost the tooth because you want to make sure Jeff puts it under his pillow so The Rock can spread his wings and get it from him? Cesaro was giving that turnbuckle quite the spanking, am I right?
Here. Kick out, kick out.
Michael Cole announced that Cesaro kicked out before Cesaro kicked out at all. Can Michael see the future? LOL.
And there's the Cesaro swing!
It's amazing that Matt Hardy has not become re-broken following the Cesaro swing.
Right there to push the rope into...
It's a shame that the cameraman missed whatever Sheamus did to Jeff there. Jeff Hardy doesn't realize that he's actually in the enemy's corner. Your corner's on the other side, bro. Poor Matt went from broken Matt Hardy to sandwiched Matt Hardy following that Swanton bomb.
Oh, look out!
Post-match assault. Although I will remove a sin because that heel turn was awesome by both Cesaro and Sheamus.
And by the time I'm finished with you tonight,
I will still not be done with you yet. Previously on WWE.
25 family and friends!
Seriously? Bayley got tickets for 25 family and friends? Must suck for any other 25 people in San Jose that actually wanted to get tickets to this show. I feel bad for those fans.
I think you can tell by the hunger section.
2 pay-per-views in a row that Bayley's 2 men actually failed to rise. My guess is that those that failed are actually Alexa Bliss fans. You never know. Bayley! I thought you were a hugger. Why the hell would you slap that poor 2 men in the freaking face? What ails you?
The first woman to hold both the SmackDown and the Raw Women's Championship.
Well, when you say it like that, it sounds like you're saying Alexa Bliss is about to hold both championships at the same time, because the term hold both means simultaneously. Better term would likely be first to have won both titles in her career. Holy fuck, I'm a nerd.
Doesn't believe there's any superstar in her league.
Wrestler doesn't believe that there's anyone in their league cliche. Ponytail yanking. One of the more weird things I've said in this series.
Oh, look at this. Making Tony Hawk jealous.
Making Tony Hawk jealous? Yeah, sure, because Alexa's hanging on to something to keep her balance. That'd definitely make Tony Hawk jealous.
Bayley, though, and this may cost her.
Instead of giving Alexa the twist of fate, why didn't Bayley just let her get counted out? Because from my standpoint, Alexa would have never made it back into the ring before the 10 count, and Bayley wins. Guaranteed Bayley regrets not doing that at this point in time.
This is exactly what Alexa needed to stop.
Alexa was already starting to fall before Bayley could connect.
They hit that belly to Bayley.
It's Bayley to belly, not the other way around, Booker.
A ball of fire.
Haha, foreshadowing the name of the July pay-per-view event for Raw.
Bayley, there's the elbow.
There's thigh elbow? What is that supposed to mean? Bayley hits thigh elbow? Is Michael stuck in medieval times or something?
Delivering a...
Kylo Ren.
Has to stay refocused.
How does one stay refocused? Either you meant to say stay focused or get refocused upon losing it. What is it with commentators mixing sentences to the point where they don't make sense anymore?
Just sit down, shoulders down.
People actually had the audacity to say this situation qualified as cheating on Alexa's part. Anyone who said that are oblivious to the fact that Bayley fell into the ring post under her own power. All Alexa did was kick out of the pinfall. Is kicking out of pinfalls all of a sudden cheating?
And a DDT! Post! I'm gonna help Bliss! Champion!
I am now removing 5 sins for Alexa Bliss making history by becoming the first woman to win the Raw and SmackDown Women's Championships. This victory was well deserved. To be honest, the whole concept of a House of Horrors match made no sense to me. I mean, I can understand that it takes place in Bray Wyatt's haunted house, but then they return to the ring and act like nothing's happened. It'd be a lot better in my view if the match began and ended in the House of Horrors. Also, this match was originally going to be for the WWE Championship, but for some stupid reason, WWE decided to not have Randy Orton defend his title. Sure, Jinder Mahal was in possession of the title, but at least we would have had a major title match on pay-per-view, especially since Raw's major champion constantly refuses to show up. Is he still employed? Also, I'm giving this pay-per-view event another 10 cents because Bray Wyatt got fucking screwed out of his required rematch clause for no reason at all, and that pissed me off.
And we'll end right here in the ring.
But what if it doesn't? Ever thought to ask yourself that? Oh yeah, I forgot to remind everyone that the first part of this match already happened days ago, but it would just sound stupid if we said it to the audience, so we're just lying to you. No big deal. Also, WWE presents Final Deletion 4, The House of Horrors. Randy Orton decided to bring a freaking limo to a supposedly dangerous and haunted house. I know he's rich beyond belief, but I still find it a little weird. I think he wouldn't want the limo to get dirty or damaged, but I'm not one to complain. Also, I wonder how Randy got the address to this location from Bray. Did Bray pause one day and say, "Randy, the House of Horrors is at 112 Sister Abigail Avenue, just next door to the 7-Eleven. Pick up some Skittles and Mountain Dew on the way, please." But unfortunately, Randy forgot to stop at 7-Eleven. I honestly don't think Randy went in the right direction, because this doesn't look like Bray Wyatt's House of Horrors. This looks more like Naomi's Glow House. What, you never saw tractors take care of yard work backwards in the dark by themselves? Those tractors have bills to pay and mouths to feed, you know. Either that or Senor Benjamin is calling it back using the Force. Bray decides to walk like he's a zombie, but then realizes that the cameras are rolling. LOL. Bray's a dick to his house guests. It's very rude to lock your guests out of the house, especially since they were invited. Property damage. Bray's probably in the kitchen making tea. How about you just have a seat on the comfortable chair and make yourself at home, Randy? It's what I do. Probably just the wind. Cut! Bray, a little more enthusiastic next time. Alright, everybody in position again. Take 3. And action! Bray's a dick to his own lamps.
You can never leave, Randy.
Well, he could. He could just walk out the door and get back in the limo. Also, Bray decided not to use Triple H's favorite weapon, the shovel. Ooh, scary, pieces of wood. Oh no. Tag, you're it. Also, why the fuck is there a shopping bag in this situation? Did Randy show up just after Bray returned to his house from going grocery shopping or something? Floating dolls, as if we hadn't seen that in almost every haunted house horror film ever made. Why would you do that? That's the big mistake every protagonist does in horror films. Place your hand on the haunted object. Also, Randy is hell-bent on finding Bray, but likely thought to himself, I want to play with these baby dolls for some reason. Either that or I'll pocket one and take it home to my kids. Even WWE fails to scare us with the cliched cheap jump scares. Got your dreadlocks! That wall had a family, you pair of psychos! You murdered the fucking cookies! Jeez, someone didn't bother to clean up the kitchen before having his house guest over. Randy's legs should have been clearly visible in this shot, thus making it obvious that Bray dropped the refrigerator on some giant rock. I hate continuity errors, don't you? Go home, Bray, you're... Wait, he's already home. I mean, stay home, Bray, you're drunk. Ooh, spooky. You just made the lights turn red. Also, how does that affect Randy being in that house in anyway?
Take me to the arena.
This limo driver apparently takes any random guy that steps into the vehicle to the destination of their choice, no questions asked. Are all limo drivers like that?
He's got the...
Bray's not putting on his seatbelt. Obey the rules, Bray. LOL.
Meanwhile, thousands of miles away.
What? We're seriously putting another match in between the two sections of the House of Horrors match? Why? I don't get it.
It was business, but now it is personal.
This match I'm having is personal, like almost every other match I've ever had, cliche.
A man of his size. Joe ahead.
The way the referee slapped Samoa Joe's chest looked like he concentrated hard to make sure that he got to slap Joe in the boobs. No one cares what's trending. Sorry, but not even 2 hours later helps your case.
All right. It took the full weight of Samoa Joe's body.
And by the full weight of Samoa Joe's body, we mean just the full weight of his upper back and shoulders, but not the rest of his body as it didn't connect with the knee at all.
I mean, the pressure...
Booker T stuttering.
And I told you.
Yet I will tell you again whatever it was I told you before. Also, monologuing is a villain's greatest weakness.
Rope trying to get some... Oh, there's a blockbuster.
Very impressive, yet Seth had released Joe before he could fully connect with the blockbuster, making it look like Joe fell just for the joyride of falling down.
It's a defensive, offensive display here.
Defensive, offensive display? I don't get it. How does one be on the offense and the defense at the same time? I'm confused now.
Shoulders down, though, and a kick out by Seth.
That was Joe that kicked out of the pinfall, not Seth. Are you blind, Michael? Being all the way on the stage, I can assume so.
Oh, he's got Joe on his back here. He got it.
I call absolute bullshit on this victory considering Joe's right shoulder was up the whole frickin' time. 5 sins added for a screw job victory. Man, someone's hungover. Who performs their entrance when they're in the middle of a freaking match?
Oh my God!
Oh, come on. Randy was trapped underneath a refrigerator and had to basically hike his way to the arena considering Bray stole his limo. And by the looks of things, he managed to clean himself up from being in that dirty house and shaved his facial hair too. He managed to do all that and somehow he was still able to get to the ring at the exact same time Bray did. And don't give me the it was pre-recorded bullshit because that's no excuse. Gotta follow the continuity of the situation.
The House of Horrors has come!
No, it didn't. I don't see the House of Horrors anywhere in sight.
Who the hell?
The Scene Brothers and Jinder Mahal are technically trespassing as they are both on SmackDown and not on Raw. And yes, I know Randy is on SmackDown too, but he has an excuse to be here. Thank God I can send Jinder Mahal for stealing Randy's WWE Championship without people telling me that I'm racist. Don't know why he stole it, as he ends up winning it 3 weeks later anyway, but I gotta send him for stealing the title because theft is not tolerated in the WWE Sins.
Oh, get it! With a Sins of Horrors!
Victory due to outside interference is always a sin. Now that I beat you, let's go to sleep next to each other. Wanna cuddle?
It is Raw Talk.
That's the second time in less than half an hour that you promoted Raw Talk. We get it, it's happening after the show. We figured that out the first time you promoted it.
To doubt Braun Strowman and every...
The fans are booing Braun Strowman despite the fact that they are rooting for him in this match. No way they're booing Roman Reigns because he's not even out here yet.
Against this huge...
Since the bell hasn't rung yet, I gotta put in the pre-match assault sin.
Strowman looking for that big knockout punch.
What? Are you serious right now, Booker? Roman Reigns is clearly going for a suicide dive or his jump over the top rope, and you assume that he's going for a knockout punch? How does that work in this case? Haha, the table didn't break.
German announce team may want to hightail it.
Braun.
Roman Reigns, he said, "This is my yard."
Roman declared the WWE to be his yard, yet he easily lost his yard to the first guy who challenged his throne. At least The Undertaker could defend his yard for 27 years. To be able to protect your yard from intruders, it requires great strategy and a certain amount of education.
There's a 600-pound...
Corey Graves seriously thinks that Braun Strowman weighs 600 pounds. What the fuck?
Corey. And again...
Ow, I hit the ring post with my hand as hard as I could.
And Reigns!
Post-match assault.
Strowman crushing the rib!
Obvious blood capsules are obvious.
He's not going to let himself get dragged out of this arena.
Alright, I'm finishing this Sin video with yet another 5 Sin edition. Reason for that is because the crowd is going way too far with their chants. The "you deserve it" chants honestly disgusted me. I'm not the biggest Roman Reigns fan out there myself, but Roman literally did nothing to deserve that post-match assault. Tell you what, I will retract this 5 Sin edition if someone could give me a perfect reason for Roman deserving this assault other than because I don't like him. Apparently 2 pay-per-views in 1 weekend of August wasn't enough to satisfy WWE, so they decided to bring back the Payback event merely 7 days following the conclusion of SummerSlam. The show was all over the place with matches that had only 1 week to prepare for, so here are 20 sins right off the bat. Should have made this the September event. Also, that one awkward moment when not even half of these matches remotely relate to the term payback and are just there because reasons. Just like this pay-per-view exists because reasons. This entire music video, and all those annoying giant-ass lyrics. I feel like I'm watching the lyrics video to some overrated song that blasts lyrics in your face like its life depends on it. No, Tom, this event is called Payback, not Vengeance. Although, truth be told, that's the same damn show.
Triple threat, no holds barred.
I'll be honest, adding a no-holds-barred stipulation to a triple threat match is kind of redundant, considering literally every triple threat match in WWE has that stipulation.
And now, Hulu presents...
Oh goody, looks like we're gonna have to get used to these side-screen promos going forward. As long as they don't happen during matches, I'll be fine with it. But I got my eye on you. Oh, never mind, we're gonna have a full-screen presentation of this promo during Bobby Lashley's entrance. MVP is indirectly a pre-recorded dick to his own Hurt Business member.
United States Championship.
Personally, I think Apollo Crews' previous theme was way better than this. This new theme was likely created just so the audience can know who it belongs to by annoyingly shouting, Apollo!
Bulging disc in the neck of Apollo Crews months ago.
I thought it was a COVID disc. Oops, WWE just got even more pissed off at me. Meh, they hate me anyway, so what can I possibly lose?
He needs to understand that he...
Oh boy, this is embarrassing. The United States Championship is a completely new design, and the graphics designer is apparently so busy making new CGI graphics that he forgot to change the graphic of the US title when it's being defended. Don't know if y'all picked up on that, but Shelton Benjamin yelled at Byron Saxton saying he might not have a job after tonight, as if the Hurt Business can do anything about the commentator's job at ringside.
Lashley's the type of guy's going to show up at your house at your birthday and eat your cake in front of you while everybody's singing.
What the fuck? Now I got that weird image stuck in my head of Bobby Lashley breaking into a stranger's house and eating someone's cake.
Put Crews out for a month on the couch with his wife and kids.
Tom Phillips is basically saying that Apollo's wife and kids also got a bulging disc somehow from Apollo. What, does he think a bulging disc is transferable like some sort of virus?
Easy. Keep an eye on the Hurt.
Hold up, wait a second. The referee counted up to 4 in the countout, but then said 2 immediately afterward. That's even more stupid than an AEW referee choosing not to count at all. At least their math is correct. I get that Apollo Crews has the champion's advantage here, but having a conversation with MVP and Shelton Benjamin is still a bad strategy since it gives Bobby Lashley time to recover.
Wait a minute.
Sorry if I'm laughing at this moment, but it looked like Bobby intentionally threw his own head into the ring post. I can understand the post-match photo op celebration moment, but these edited screenshots like one of Drew Gulak's old slideshow presentations is a little much. Jeez, I'd expect a post-match assault from the bad guys, but hardly from the good guy, unless his opponent cheated to win. And Bobby Lashley won the match fair and square without the help from Hurt Business. Talk about a sore loser. Don't give in. You can do this. The temptation is strong. Can't hold it back much longer.
You write your own material?
Probably not, but neither do you anymore. Keith Lee's what the hell happened to my career face.
Only $1 million to get in.
JBL is such a fucking asshole. Of course, what would we expect from him? Who the hell pays $1 million just to get into whatever the hell was on the card?
Two prime-time players.
Somewhere in catering, Titus O'Neil looked up in hope that Darren Young made his return, then sat back down in disappointment once he realized Michael Cole was talking about this random match.
Famous 8-time champs.
Big E continues to introduce the New Day even though Xavier Woods and Kofi Kingston are both on the sidelines. And before you say that he meant himself as an 8-time champ, just know that he said champs with an S at the end. Also, given Big E is technically on his own for the time being, why not just play the New Day music immediately, or maybe give him new music? New Day doesn't work with just one guy.
Tonight, this is deeply personal between two big bulls.
Let me stop you right there, Corey. There is nothing about this match between Big E and Sheamus that is even remotely close to being personal. Big E gets one win over Sheamus and it's automatically personal? Where's the logic in that? Also, I think that Sheamus would be more mad at Retribution rather than Big E, given it was their fault that Big E got the win that one time. Also, on a night called Payback, where there's a group called Retribution who seek payback against the entire WWE, it's all crickets and Brock Lesnar-like absence for that stable, which is really starting to make me think that they actually don't care about getting any sort of retribution or payback or whatever word they're using. Conversations during matches. Been a long time since I placed that sin in, given the wrestlers have been doing a good job at making sure their conversations aren't picked up on the microphone. Streak ends again.
Ooh, this is great strategy, guys.
What? Michael Cole just said what Sheamus did was a great strategeist or something? Whatever that's supposed to mean.
Oh, what a throw by Big E!
Sorry, but no. Big E's leg was targeted by Sheamus for the better part of 5 minutes in this match, whether it was a strike or a submission, and yet Big E is somehow able to run on it and connect moves without a problem.
Nonetheless,
it's annoying enough when Big E does that with Kofi and Xavier around, but when he's alone, the hip swivel lost all of its New Day charm. Just saying, if you want Big E in a singles run, give him his own character.
Big E tried.
You have an injured leg!
Cover and Big E kicks out at 2.5.
Yes, Big E kicked out, but then after that, both his shoulders are back down on the mat and Sheamus is still lying on top of him, so why isn't the referee starting another pinfall?
Corey, we learned a lot about Big E here tonight.
How? I've seen the same Big E that's been with the New Day and the same Big E that wins matches even on his own. What new stuff did we learn from Big E tonight? Because I'm drawing a blank.
You freak then I'm running.
Just like Bayley's continued feud with Michael Cole is annoying, the New Day's continued feud with Corey Graves is also annoying.
I'm always motivated, bro.
Matt Riddle is gender confused.
By the way, he's already proven that he's a failure at home.
Man, WWE are such assholes by bringing up Matt Riddle's personal life issues and telling King Corbin to tweet about it. Not even in storyline is this excusable.
You don't like me.
Wow, you're so observant, Nia.
Shayna Baszler just said what I was about to say. By this point in WWE, everybody's a sinner, but still no match for me. Alright, it's been over a year since Baron Corbin won the King of the Ring tournament. Personally, I think it's time to shut down his gimmick as King Corbin as it has run its course. After a year of being king, it's starting to drag.
Payback is presented by Hulu. Watch your face.
Who gives a shit about Hulu?
Humble King Corbin.
If WWE is going to continue using edited audio effects from crowd noises, they could at least have the bro chants heard throughout the Thunderdome, given that's exactly what happens when Matt Riddle makes his entrance.
Oh, and Corbin!
Damn, those were some cool pyrotechnics just for kicking off flip-flops. And then everything got ruined with a pre-match assault. Matt Riddle has the lethal Kimura lock cinched in on King Corbin, and the commentators are not the least bit concerned that he could have his arm broken. Either because he's not Brock Lesnar, or because the commentators couldn't give two shits about the King.
Not true. I happen to get along quite well with King Corbin.
Oh, shut up, Corey. Nobody wants to hear how much you have a good friendship with the sexiest wrestler alive.
Bruh.
Who said that?
That's why I'm the king.
By constantly monologuing and costing yourself the victory? That's why you're the king? Could have sworn you're the king because you gained success in a tournament. Was I wrong?
Riddle, cover, hook to the leg is it?
Matt Riddle's left shoulder is off the canvas throughout this entire pinfall, and the referee chooses to ignore it. After all the times the King taunted his opponent or the crowd and ended up losing his matches, why the hell does he continue to do it?
Oh, the bro to sleep!
First of all, bro to sleep is a very stupid pun to give the GTS. But the sin mostly goes to the fact that King Corbin is somehow knocked out from a knee connecting to his armpit.
Big Corbin, time to move on.
Apparently, defeating King Corbin is somehow a major accomplishment. That'd only be the case if Matt was one step closer to being champion or something, or if he became the King of the Ring instead.
Finally be done.
Matt Riddle jinxed himself by saying he's done with the King, because at that precise moment, the King channels his inner Braun Strowman and yells, "I'm not finished with you!" Also, post-match assault. Even backstage, it still counts. On a known example of how sad this match is, the entire promo video for the Women's Tag Team Championship match features only Sasha Banks and Bayley, with absolutely zero mention or reference to Nia Jax and Shayna Baszler, the two women who are actually challenging the titles. It was likely not said directly, but I'm quite positive Sasha Banks said, "Did you say it's boss time? We have to piss off Maracle because it's our destiny to get sinned."
Baszler, one of the reasons that Banks isn't the Raw Women's Champion.
Sasha Banks had clearly lost the Women's Championship to Asuka in that match at SummerSlam, where Shayna Baszler was nowhere to be found, and yet somehow Shayna is getting the credit for Sasha's loss.
So Nia telling Baszler, follow.
Nia Jax once again tells Shayna Baszler to follow her lead after several unsuccessful attempts to getting her to do so. And in doing so, they just broke the record for fastest tag-in following the beginning of the match in tag team history. Sasha Banks gets one single kick on a martial artist like Shayna Baszler and automatically believes that she has the advantage to start monologuing. No wonder it's lost time whenever she's in a title match. Never mind jealousy, maybe this is why Bayley betrays Sasha 5 days later.
Drives Baylor into the...
Baylor? Again? This isn't the first time Michael Cole has accidentally combined Bayley's name with Finn Balor's. What's up with that?
Baszler is the NXT Women's Champion. Corey, how about Sasha Banks? 5-time Raw...
Really bad idea to compare Shayna Baszler's 2 reigns as NXT Women's Champion to Sasha's 5 reigns as Raw Women's Champion. Shayna in a single reign was more dominant as champion than Sasha in 5. Quality over quantity, Michael.
To Shayna Baszler.
Either Sasha Banks dropped Shayna too early, or Bayley missed the cue to drop Shayna in that double team move. Take your pick.
Underneath the clothesline, caught by Banks.
You have no idea how frustrating it is to hear Michael Cole constantly mix up the names of wrestlers in matches, especially when Nia Jax looks nothing like Sasha Banks.
Tag made, Bayley's now legal. Top rope, now tag made, Banks.
Honestly, that tag was pointless. What was the point of Sasha tagging in Bayley if she was just going to tag herself back in 3 seconds later? That makes no sense.
Bayley taps out!
You gotta admit that Shayna Baszler won with the most creative ideas I've seen in a long time. Double submission on both Sasha and Bayley while forcing Sasha to make Bayley tap out. That was insane. Post-match interview that doesn't lead to anything. Cool to have Keith Lee on the main roster, however his match against Randy Orton exists only because they wanted to give Randy something to do prior to his next WWE title match against Drew McIntyre. One of the biggest flaws of having a pay-per-view literally 7 days after the previous one. Also, that one awkward moment when these two already faced off on Monday Night Raw 6 days ago. It'd be a great pay-per-view build if they didn't already have a match, even if that one ended in a disqualification.
The Legend Killer.
If Randy Orton is the Legend Killer, then why is he going after Drew McIntyre? Last I checked, Randy was more of a legend than Drew ever was. Also, Randy's punt kick looks less and less devastating than ever before, given Drew survived 3 of them and came back 2 weeks later. If the kick doesn't put out opponents for months, then it's useless. Boy, that sudden change in music doesn't fit Keith Lee at all. Those are 2 different beats. Not gonna be one of those guys who bitch non-stop about entrance music, but what was wrong with the other one?
Keith Lee delivered 3 kicks to the...
Oh, come freaking on! How the hell do you confuse Randy Orton with Keith Lee in any way? Last I checked, Keith came to the defense of Drew McIntyre. He wasn't the one connecting 3 punt kicks. Here are 3 more sins. Doesn't matter how many times I've seen it, the freaking athleticism of someone the size of Keith Lee continues to amaze me. He truly is limitless. Keith Lee is focused, got his mind in the game, ready to wrestle against Randy Orton, and yet it's Randy who's doing none of those things that is telling Keith that he's the one who needs an education.
I am the Legend Killer.
Okay, we get it! You're Randy Orton, you're the Legend Killer. Meanwhile, do you even know who the hell Keith Lee is? Randy's just asking to be put down in 6 minutes. Given the major size difference between Keith Lee and all the other victims Randy tried to put through that announce table, how the hell did it not smash? Seriously, if we're not going to successfully put wrestlers through the announce table, then what's the point of slamming them on it? Failure to break the table makes the moment look awkward every time. That quick victory from Keith Lee really shows his potential here on Monday Night Raw. One can only hope that the momentum can continue. But until then, here are a few sins off.
Is it safe to assume that Roman has signed his...
Good lord, Caleb Braxton won't give up on spoiling Paul Heyman's secret plans for Roman Reigns in tonight's main event. What's more annoying than CGI graphics? CGI graphics that get in the way of what you're trying to see. Move, I'm trying to watch the show!
The greater good that you fight for?
For this tag team match with Murphy and Seth Rollins taking on Rey and Dominic Mysterio, we are basically just repeating the same video package that was in the hype up for SummerSlam last week. If you got nothing new to share, then what's the point of repeating this?
Oddly things that you do at SummerSlam.
See what I mean? This video package does not hype up where we actually are tonight. Payback! Now, we should really name this event to WWE Advertise the Shit Out of this show. Would be appropriate given we see more ads on here than a YouTube video.
Wait a minute, it's up!
Damn, that's gotta suck for Dominic. Immediately upon the bell ringing, he runs after Seth Rollins and misses him completely in the attempt to knock him off the apron. Looks more like Seth was tired and wanted to fall and take a nap on the floor.
Dominic went after Rollins!
I could give Dominic Mysterio a pass because he's a rookie, but that'd be dumb on my part. Murphy is the legal wrestler, not Seth. I could understand knocking Seth off the apron early on, but Dominic should have immediately shifted his focus to Murphy instead of turning his back on him.
Out the gate. And Joe, it is that anticipation.
Jeez, Murphy's having a tough time throwing Dominic into the ring for whatever reason. Dominic isn't even resisting his attempt.
In the street fight.
Seth Rollins reacted before Dominic Mysterio could even connect his shoulder tackle on the ropes. He really needs to stop doing that. Die, Payback table cover! You must suffer the wrath of the Messiah!
I'm a little bit frustrated.
Murphy seriously asked the temper tantrum throwing Seth Rollins if he is okay? That's the one thing you never ask someone who's throwing a temper tantrum. Most obvious answer ever.
Be careful what you wish for, Ray.
Says the guy who's gonna monologue the shit out of his opponent until he gets his ass handed to him.
Calling for the disciple. Oh!
Wow, I'll remove 2 cents because that was a seriously innovative move on the part of Murphy and Seth Rollins. Never seen that one before. Gonna be honest, a lot of this match was giving me major anxiety, especially the moments when Seth and Murphy were not doing anything and letting either Ray or Dominic Mysterio recover from the onslaught. Are we seriously gonna be doing this all the time now? Because I'm not liking this one bit.
Whoa.
Okay, Seth and Murphy may piss me off from time to time with their constant stalling, but they really know their game when it comes to double team moves and counters. Like that catch into the Falcon's arrow right there.
Stereo able to roll through.
Stereo? Is that what we're supposed to refer to Ray now? Ray Stereo, Dominic Stereo. That's weird, but okay.
Two legal superstars.
Dang, second pay-per-view in a row where we see the usage of a code breaker to counter a move from the top rope. Or at least I think it is the second pay-per-view in a row. Regardless, that was an amazing counter from Seth Rollins.
Seth Rollins. I'll do it myself.
Then do it already! Seth Rollins grabbing Rey Mysterio's ass.
Messiah. No. Where did Dominic come from? Where did he come from?
Byron Saxton asked the where do they come from question with an obvious answer. Samoa Joe was about to answer said question, but then was likely told to act stupid and ignorant while on commentary. No, you're not supposed to use logic, damn it!
The two illegal superstars in this match.
Tom Phillips is really starting to lose it here, as he just said that Murphy and Seth Rollins are both illegal superstars in this match. Well then who the hell are the Mysterios facing? The invisible team of Little Jimmy and John Cena? I know that the fans wouldn't be on camera, but wouldn't it make more sense to showcase the audience all over the arena, even the place where the cameras are not pointing, to help the wrestlers feel some sort of normality by cutting promos to the fans instead of an empty area?
Where's your son now, Ray?
He's about to recover and kick your ass if you don't shut the fuck up and finish off his father to win the match.
Kick him in the head.
Sure, that command definitely won't raise any alarms on Ray's awareness of what's going on around him. After all, he lost an eye 2 months ago, not his ear.
Helpless. Oh, wait a minute!
And Seth blamed Murphy for this?
Tomorrow night on Raw, Rey Mysterio goes one-on-one with Seth Rollins.
Why? Seriously, why? You can't even last 24 hours without putting Ray and Seth in matches against each other. I know that Ray gets replaced by Dominic due to injury, but still. Let's show the Hurt Business, leaving the arena with absolutely nothing happening and or no one attacking them because reasons.
I have a mission for you.
Vince McMahon gives Adam Pearce a mission to make sure that every member of tonight's main event signs the contract prior to SmackDown's conclusion, otherwise there will be serious consequences. And we never get to see any of those serious consequences to Roman Reigns for not signing the contract or Adam Pearce getting fired for failing the mission. Vince was bluffing the entire time.
I need their signature before the night is over.
So, in other words, Roman Reigns is legally not allowed to participate in tonight's main event, and yet he is. Well, shit, that's the second time in less than a week that WWE had me stunned. If someone told me last week that Roman Reigns will be returning as a heel and have Paul Heyman as his manager, I'd send your ass for being an idiot. But here we are, and it is a reality. Wait a minute, didn't The Fiend have its own version of the WWE Universal Championship or something? It's barely visible in the dark, but you can clearly see Braun Strowman standing right there, completely missing his cue and spoiling the fact that he was supposed to attack The Fiend in a pre-match assault. So I'm sending Braun for a pre-match assault before said pre-match assault ever happened. That's a first. Also, I suppose Braun attacking The Fiend from behind is why the champion is entering first, when traditionally, the champion is supposed to enter last. I get that Roman Reigns found a loophole in the contract about not having to sign it until the final bell rings to end the match, but given that it's a stupid loophole intentionally added for the purpose of exploitation and prevention of a wrestler competing in a triple threat match, I'm giving this 1,000 fucking sins. At least wait for Roman Reigns to enter before you ring the freaking bell.
chaos has already begun.
Strowman.
The only thing I give WWE credit for here is they have the correct audience sound effect playing in the background. Imagine if the fans were actually attending the show in person. They'd be booing the whole match due to the bullshit. I'd remove a sin for WWE getting the crowd noise right, but I'm too pissed off at their stupid choices to care.
Champion delivering Sister Abigail.
Now, imagine if this match ended right there and Roman Reigns is standing backstage with a humiliated expression on his face as he watches his title shot go up in flames. If only.
These two titans might destroy everything.
Even the commentators are completely ignoring the major flaw that is the absence of Roman Reigns.
Driving Strowman through a table.
You know, I would have removed at least half of the 1,000 sins I placed moments ago if the Fiend randomly decided to put Michael Cole in the Mandible Claw. At least we could be happy about one good thing. Alexa Bliss is heavily involved in the Fiend's storyline with Braun Strowman and is still resorting to backstage trances. It's as if her presence never mattered in the build-up to both SummerSlam and Payback.
And Strowman just launching him.
The Fiend blocks the chair from doing serious damage to it and still suffered serious damage, just like this entire storyline is seriously damaged and sinful. Oh, the unlimited power I possess.
To this point, there's no Roman Reigns.
It took Corey Graves over 5 minutes of the match to realize that. Holy shit, this is bad. The Fiend is probably crying because it knows it's about to be a week-long transitional champion to somebody else. Poor thing. I almost feel tempted to hug it, though it would kill me shortly afterward. The real question is why there are 2 random hidden tables in this one location where nobody and nothing is present. Well, I guess that explains why this entire event was coincidentally the one that chose to have no LED ring posts like it normally does. Also, no offense, but the combined weight of Braun Strowman and The Fiend is 670 plus pounds, and that is somehow enough to shatter the ring from a superplex? That's gotta be one weak-ass ring if that's the case. This is WWE for God's sake, and they got a ring as weak as a backyard handmade ring? Looks like Otis isn't the only Mr. Money in the Bank on SmackDown.
Reigns figuring out, what do I do now?
All Roman Reigns did was try to pin both Braun and The Fiend. If he's questioning what he's supposed to do after that, then it really shows how much of a game plan he had coming in late into this match. Roman Reigns is a dick to The Fiend's Firefly Funhouses. Big shout out to my fans for coming up with that name in the Royal Rumble 2020 Part 2 since when I first asked what I should say in this case. I guess this was the brief return of Fan Sins!
WWE presents Payback.
What is it with WWE's crazy trend on bringing this pay-per-view back every 3 years? Anyone else notice that pattern? Payback discontinued in 2017, was brought back in 2020, discontinued again, and was once again restored in 2023. I guess we should be expecting the next edition in 2026, the year I turned 30 years old. Also, I get that WWE wanted to give Roman Reigns vacation time after his last 5 vacations this year, but this was honestly a missed opportunity to have Roman actually compete and defend the Universal Championship at the specific event where he won it 3 years ago. WWE made sure to not have an Iron Man match take place in the city after what happened the last time a pay-per-view took place here.
Something you started, but now you can't stop.
The most accurate description of the feud between Trish Stratus and Becky Lynch started and then just kept going and going and going.
Unbeatable as the Women's World Champion.
In the very rare occasions that I actually defended the Women's World Championship.
You're not gonna survive this one, bitch.
What I don't understand is WWE censors Trish Stratus saying bitch here, but never seems to have a problem with the wrestler saying bitch during broadcasts and other promo packages. Either censor this or don't.
John Cena is back!
Well, John Cena's got to do something since he doesn't seem to have a job anywhere else at the current moment. Not gonna lie, I've been a bigger fan of WWE using the smaller stage setups for their pay-per-view events like Backlash and Money in the Bank this year, because it allowed more fans to be present for the show. Now that I think more about it, WWE should use the smaller stages for B-level pay-per-views and bigger custom stages for the big 4 pay-per-views. Would definitely save money compared to building these giant screens 24/7.
14,000!
Nope.
There will be retribution!
Ah, so that explains why Michin suddenly dashed out of the arena, jumped in her car, and sped away from Pittsburgh as fast as possible. Previously thought it was because she saw Shelton Benjamin, but this explains a lot now.
Retaliation!
Over in Chicago, preparing for All Out, Mercedes Martinez suddenly had a cold shiver go down her spine. Also, I get that Michael Cole is trying to hype up Payback by referring to every synonym to the word, but it's not like retribution, revenge, and retaliation have different meanings compared to payback.
Not once did Becky show her gratitude.
Just like I said before, none of this feud makes any sense. Trish Stratus hates Becky Lynch because the latter did not show gratitude to the woman who paved the path she walks on, which is bullshit because if Becky wasn't grateful, she never would have invited Trish to join her at WrestleMania in the War with Damage Control.
Is that you need a
sidekick to do your dirty work.
Even though this upcoming steel cage match is perhaps the best women's cage match of all time, Zoe Stark's eventual interference kinda shot down Trish's chance of showing that she actually doesn't need Zoe to hold her own. Trish Stratus usually stands as the silhouette in the white light, but right here she forgot her cue to be in position and was way too late before the graphics changed. Whoopsie. Judging by her facial expression, Tiffany Stratton absolutely feels out of place here. She's the NXT Women's Champion, meanwhile nobody sitting around her has even noticed that she's here. Hell, this lady over here is on her cell phone without a care in the world about this show.
7-time world champion.
World champion? Right now, the only person who's ever been a women's world champion in WWE is Rhea Ripley. None of Trish Stratus's 7 title reigns were world titles. Plus, it doesn't exactly have a world title feel to it when it was literally the only title option at the time. There wasn't any mid-card titles or anything.
And Trish won't have cage experience.
Well, so much for Trish Stratus saying she wanted to end Becky Lynch inside the steel cage, am I right?
Trish Stratus taking over this match thanks to Zoe Stark.
Wait, what? Trish Stratus took control of this match thanks to Zoe Stark? Zoe hasn't even shown up yet, unless she gained John Cena's ability to become invisible. That's right, get a close-up. A close-up that proves Becky Lynch's face is completely protected from the cage thanks to her hand. Forget about trying to make it look brutal, we need close-up shots of reality.
Trish up, shoulders down.
But according to some dumb fans in attendance, Becky got a 3 count when the referee's hand obviously never hit the mat on the first occasion. Jaw-ripping.
Lynch now looking for the disarm her.
Becky Lynch has locked in the disarm her so many times for almost 10 years, yet when she has the full lock in, she does everything in her power to make sure Trish's arm remains in a perfectly comfortable position without applying any sort of danger.
Out of the ring, and Stratus, maneuver, but this...
After that has happened to Trish Stratus so many times throughout her career, how come she never bridges herself and then quickly slides away before her opponent can either stomp her or hit a leg drop?
At the PPG Paints Arena.
What does the PPG stand for? Poor Penguins game?
The culmination of what has been an incredible rivalry.
Maybe don't say that, Michael Cole. I get that this match ends up being the last encounter between Becky Lynch and Trish Stratus, but knowing WWE, they'll do anything to extend a storyline far beyond its storybook conclusion. Right, Jimmy?
A Hall of Famer and a future Hall.
I would laugh, but I'm still recovering from COVID-19 while creating this video, most likely caused by someone in the arena who also had it and passed it over to me. Anyways, I'm taking a sin off because of the hilarious way Becky and Trish continuously whack each other's head into the cage. Conversations during matches, as we can clearly hear Becky repeat, "Hit me, hit me." The obsessed stans would be happy to do that, only to get curb stomped by her husband. That would be a beautiful sight to see. Trish Stratus has Becky Lynch ready for the Stratusfaction, and then does everything in her power to not hit the Stratusfaction. Seriously irritating when wrestlers do that.
Becky Lynch counter twist of fate.
Where the hell is Lita in all this?
Trish with Stratusfaction, and Becky checked it.
I won't lie, I actually believe Trish had the match won with the Stratusfaction after nearly 20 minutes of a very good match, and the crowd was also electric. Here's another sin off.
Leg for the victory in the cage. Becky.
The part that's so irritating about this is the referee stops his count before Becky could actually kick out. So Trish Stratus actually won this match and got screwed over.
That's vintage Stratus. Trish up near the top.
What? Becky Lynch got hit by a Stratusfaction a few minutes ago and then by another one off the freaking top rope, and she recovered from both of those finishers in less than a minute? I'm sorry, but that is not believable whatsoever.
This is Trish's trap, boy.
Alright, that part actually scared the crap out of me when I saw that, because I actually believed Trish was about to fall back and land on her head outside the ring. It would win her the match, but I was legitimately concerned for her well-being. So well played on the trap the leg in the cage and hang upside down trick. It worked on me. I'll take 2 sins off this time.
From up there, Superplex.
I fucking love this match, don't you?
Wait a minute, Zoe Stark.
Well, this match was awesome. And then Zoe Stark interfered and ruined everything. I'm sorry, but Trish was doing such a tremendous job on her own, and this interference feels just as flat as a bloodline interference.
Zoe from getting involved. Yeah.
Becky Lynch has had enough of Zoe Stark's bullshit interference and channeled her inner Undertaker by slamming the door shut. One thing I will do is take another 5 sins off because despite the interference, this was the best women's cage match of all time and could even be one of the best women's matches in history. Let's be thankful this match was cancelled off the SummerSlam card because it wouldn't be as good as this if it was on the Overflowed card. Dang, looks like everybody wants to be the Undertaker for one night, but in all seriousness, props to Zoe Stark on having enough of Trish Stratus and going on her own way. Oh boy, looks like it's time for Seth Rollins versus Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship based on this major promo we're showing. Except this is just a Peacock commercial playing between matches. But can I just say that I love WWE for allowing Shinsuke Nakamura to cut promos in his own native language compared to his struggles to speak English? After all, a wise man did once say, "Sorry, no speak English." Is it weird that I actually feel sorry for this one kid who worked on a sign to get featured on TV, and when she does get featured on TV, the sign is upside down? Don't worry, I too agree that Uwan ba la baj at c IWVW with a skateboard at the end. Or is that supposed to be Santino Morello in his unibrow days?
The host of Payback!
John Cena is the host of Payback, which means he can do anything for any of the matches tonight. Yet the one thing he chooses to do is be a guest referee for a random match that never needed him in the first place.
But I've never been a host!
Which means you'll see me now, but after this is done, you will completely forget that I was the host of this event.
Is to make tonight special.
So watch me as I don't make this night special whatsoever, aside from being a random referee that does nothing for the feud I'm participating in. This guy probably thinks that going to watch the Barbie movie is embarrassing for anyone who doesn't play with Barbie dolls. I can neither confirm nor deny that I played with Barbie dolls, but I did go see the movie on opening night. Wasn't that good to me, but it made a lot of money, so it's a massive win. Your sign, on the other hand, is a sin.
Pandering to this audience?
The Miz seriously didn't expect John Cena to pander to the audience, something he has done for literally his entire career in WWE. Miz has been one of John's most constant rivals. How the hell did he not expect John to pander to the fans?
When they called for you to be a merman in a Barbie movie, you say no.
Why, just because that one single movie made more money than all of your Marine movies combined?
You still dress like a Teletubby.
Since when the fuck was there a turquoise Teletubby in that franchise?
Brings it up all the time. Cena cost him his only shot at a championship.
That's odd, because I've never heard Wade Barrett talk about John Cena costing him the WWE Championship from 13 years ago. Holy shit, that was 13 years ago? Stop reminding me that I'm old. The Miz spends the first minute of this match throwing a temper tantrum outside the ring while LA Knight, John Cena, and myself sit around in boredom. I think this is when I ordered another rum at the Captain Morgan Club. John Cena only starts counting when the Miz chooses to walk away from the ringside area. Did he extend the barrier where countouts are supposed to begin so that wrestlers can only be counted out if they're not at ringside?
Will to succeed. Oh, like your Pirates every year.
Sorry, Michael, but I already activated the sin where I roasted the city sports team. Gotta keep up with me, bro.
Abel.
Yeah, my hands. Ow, my hands. Damn it, that phrase is just too catchy to not say at all.
And again, separating.
Guest referee aggressively pulls wrestler away from the corner, causing a confrontation and distraction cliche. Just what was missing in this match.
Great move. Oh!
Somewhere in AEW, Chris Jericho just became furious because The Miz delivered a more devastating version of the Codebreaker. Right, yeah. The Miz has LA Knight where he wants him, but then chooses to walk around and let LA recover. He really deserves to lose the match at this point.
By the M-I-Z.
I'm sorry, but Corey Graves is trying way too hard to kiss the Miz's ass. Even Michael Cole, annoying as he was, did it properly. We openly hated him for the annoyance. Here, we're just telling Corey, good try, but no. I'm not saying I'm entirely against finishers being kicked out of, but does it seriously have to happen in every freaking match? Make that the rarest thing of all fucking time, like Roman Reigns winning without interference. I don't know how much longer I can handle The Miz taunting John Cena after doing that a lot since 2009. WWE's logic in the United States Championship picture was messed up. They had Santos Escobar defeat Rey Mysterio by forfeit to become #1 contender to Austin Theory's title, only for Rey to take Santos' place and win the championship. I'm sure this is leading to Santos probably losing his cool and turning on Rey, but the circumstance was still stupid. Austin Theory's non-pyro.
United States.
Why is Austin Theory arguing with Little Jimmy in the corner? R-Truth, you seriously left Little Jimmy in Pittsburgh? Just like WrestleMania, Rey Mysterio was competing in yet another Cinnamon Toast Crunch match. I'm assuming he signed a multi-match deal with the cereal brand and must compete in another one. What's next? A literal Cinnamon Toast Crunch match taking place in a giant bowl of cereal and milk? Wait, that sounds like something Mr. Beast would do.
It is simple in theory.
Was that supposed to be a pun? If so, very poor attempt. And do we have to have the Cinnamon Toast Crunch graphics all over the place too?
Theory,
Yikes. Austin Theory literally leaped into the air and planted his feet right into Rey Mysterio's chest. And Michael Cole gives a tiny ooh as if it were merely a slap on the wrist. That actually looked brutal. What happened to the proper reactions?
Change in momentum.
Oh, look at this.
Wow, mixing a sleeper hold with a Cesaro swing and a cutter? That's actually quite the combination if you think about it. Here's to hoping that ain't the only time Austin Theory utilizes it against his opponents in the future. This match is definitely not taking place in front of 14,000 fans, but is absolutely taking place in front of literally 107 Cinnamon Toast Crunch logos. 53 on the left side, 53 on the other side, and one big giant Cinnamon Toast Crunch logo on the stage. Oh, fuck you already. Make that 108. Rey Mysterio competes in a match where his opponent tries to rip the mask off his face cliche. You'd think by now Rey would have added extra locking mechanisms or put on a spare mask just in case this constantly happens.
Rey with a 619. This is the way Rey won the United States.
Austin Theory took the full force of the 619, yet was somehow able to recover from that in less than 4 seconds. That is bullshit if you ask me.
I appreciate you crawling out of your Mattel box.
Ha, get it? Because Tiffany Stratton is wearing pink and the Barbie movie is still dominating? Good try, Becky. You know, I'd be more excited to see this tag team championship match between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn in the Judgment Day had we not already seen multiple combinations of this match for the last couple months. That's what happens when you use the same matches too much. Just wondering, how do these two not have some sort of mix-up theme song by now? And why doesn't Kevin Owens ever get a turn with using his theme song to lead the duo to the ring? Be nice to switch things up every now and then, since they both have equally badass themes. And now we got the Judgment Day's non-pyro. This is becoming quite the irritation since almost no one has regular pyro anymore. The Raw and SmackDown Tag Team Championships have been defended as undisputed belts for over a year and a half. How does WWE not have a new set of tag titles by now? And if you're not going to have a single set of tag titles, then do the right thing and resplit them. I do give props to Sami Zayn on immediately bringing out the weapons when the street fight began, unlike that unfortunate not-so-hardcore match that was supposed to be a tribute to the late Terry Funk. To me, this is the real tribute to Terry Funk match. However, I'm putting this in back because Sammy's first thought is to bring out some chairs and immediately send them into the ring where a not-so-injured Finn Balor could easily use them to his advantage 30 seconds into the match.
Those things are sacred. That is the terrible.
Finn Balor just roleplayed the entire football season of the Pittsburgh Steelers. They start off strong, but eventually get stomped out of the chances of winning the Super Bowl. Jesus, I've been owning Pittsburgh sports teams all video long. It's just way too easy.
We're going to take out the trash.
The Pirates haven't won this month, have they? Well, we're only 2 days in.
Even Michael Cole cannot resist joining me in owning the sports teams of Pittsburgh. Do they seriously suck this bad to have been mentioned like 4 times in one Sins video? That's gotta set a record. Congratulations, Pittsburgh.
Not quite sure how many chairs Damian Priest actually needs.
I'm too sick with COVID to fight back with Michael Cole on reciting exactly what I was about to say, almost word for word. So I'll just praise you for being good at my job to save my energy.
Just letting their fists fly.
Corey, none of Kevin Owens' fists are flying on Damian Priest right here. That would be his foot. Careful, Finn. Don't start complaining that your back hurts. Not with Shinsuke Nakamura lurking about since he's been obsessed with injured backs lately. 2 questions. First one, did the crew at the PBG Paints Arena think it'd be a great idea to put Penguins merchandise at that one convenient hiding spot just on the very case that somebody was going to get thrown into it and wear them? Second question, how did Kevin Owens get bloodied up? The last time we saw him before he got thrown over the barricade, his head was perfectly fine, but all of a sudden it looks like Jon Moxley on an average Wednesday. Or did putting on the Penguins jersey cause him to bleed?
Dressed as the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Making fun of Pittsburgh sports teams is hilarious enough, but at least I know who's what. The Steelers are football, you moron. 5 cents for that unfortunate error. Alright, that was cool. I fucking love hockey, and when the gloves are dropped, shit's about to go down.
And Priest.
Damian Priest must hate musical chairs. Kevin Owens got hit so hard it triggered his desire to run at the camera and smear himself all over it. Hate it when that urge gets to you at random moments in life, I'm told. You gotta love moments like this. Shades of the legendary Jeff Hardy with a swanton bomb off the stands through a table. Ah, those were the days. Taking out 5 cents for that. I get that JD McDonough is trying to join up with the Judgment Day, but to me, this was the perfect ending, and it got ruined by cheap interference yet again. Judgment Day matches really are turning into Bloodline matches. Isn't that already annoying enough? If this doesn't culminate with Rhea Ripley having actual matches with the male superstars, this is just a complete waste of time. I'm just saying, don't have Rhea attack male wrestlers unless she's getting it in return. That qualifies as equal rights. Victory due to outside interference is always a sin. This match was awesome, but then it got ruined. The ending wasn't even that good because Finn Balor got his ass handed to him with a haluva kick, but it ends because Dominic Mysterio wags Sami Zayn in the head with Damian Priest's Money in the Bank briefcase. In addition to the 1 sin for outside interference, here's 10 more. Here's totally what this pay-per-view needed over 2 hours into the show with 2 matches left. A talk show segment that could have been easily saved for Friday Night SmackDown, but I'm just assuming this is WWE finding any excuse to put Cody Rhodes on their pay-per-views, even if it doesn't make any sense.
Tonight is the beginning of something huge for you.
Grayson Waller hints at something that sounds far more entertaining than what actually happens with Cody Rhodes, because even after this night, we still don't know what's going on.
Do you watch SmackDown?
I'd rather be watching Payback right now, but I actually do feel like I'm watching SmackDown. This segment is still going on. Jey Uso is the big reason why the Grayson Waller effect with Cody Rhodes took place for 15 minutes on this pay-per-view event, and as much as I admit I didn't see it coming, you still seriously couldn't just save this for, let's say, this upcoming Monday Night Raw, or last night on SmackDown. What did this accomplish for Payback, or for Grayson Waller, or for Cody Rhodes for that matter?
You've been gone like 2 weeks, lad.
This segment is still going on! The sin goes for Jey Uso actually waiting 3 damn minutes before deciding to superkick Grayson Waller without saying a single word, instead of just doing it immediately.
Now Rodriguez has retribution.
I find it hilarious that Michael Cole is using any synonym to the word payback without just flat out saying Raquel Rodriguez is looking for payback, the name of this event. And of course we got Rhea Ripley's non-pyro, and here I thought Ryback was overdoing it back in the day. This is far worse.
Rhea Ripley, who has dominated the women's division.
Occasionally, when for the majority of her time, she's actually been dominating the men's division, leading us to once again question why she's not actually competing against them.
To take a shortcut.
Raquel Rodriguez must have been watching The Last Jedi before showing up at the arena for her match tonight. Also, 2 entire minutes of staring, sizing each other up, and testing out durability for oncoming shoulder tackles. I wish I was kidding. I'm sorry, but can Raquel Rodriguez do something other than dare Rhea Ripley to hit her again? Like, take advantage of the fact that she's stronger than Rhea is? Use it to win the Women's World Championship? This match is close to 20 minutes long, and it's unfortunately full of either Raquel Rodriguez daring Rhea Ripley to hit her again, or Rhea Ripley sitting around for long periods of time when Raquel was down. This is not how you perform a good match.
Is Rhea playing with her food?
Unfortunately, Corey Graves nailed it with the phrase playing with her food, because that's exactly what this entire match is.
For the Judgment Day, can
Rhea had Raquel in a dangerous position and could have jumped off the top rope at any moment, but chose to once again pose around, which ends up causing Raquel to counter. We're over 10 minutes into the match and I'm bored as hell.
Powering the champion up.
Aw man, just as this match was getting good, nah, I'm just kidding, it was not even close to getting good, and then the botch just made it worse. Raquel Rodriguez easily falls for the outside interference, pretends to be scared just to distract the competitor trick, the literal oldest heel trick in the book. This match sucked, the ending sucked, and Raquel's common sense went away for the night. I'm throwing in another 20 sins. This is just ridiculous for all the wrong reasons. John Cena is hilarious, but this weird-ass costume is just weird, and I'm about ready to leave, so let's get to the main event, please.
2 fractures in my lumbar spine.
I've got mixed feelings regarding this main event match for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. However, this buildup was intense due to Seth Rollins' back injury and Shinsuke Nakamura's knowledge of how to exploit it. The tagline for this feud between Seth Rollins and Shinsuke Nakamura are 3 simple words: watch your back. Yet here, Seth Rollins does everything except watch his back. And because Shinsuke hasn't made his entrance yet, you never know if he's sneaking around ready to attack from behind at any moment. Oh no, the non-pyro just shot Shinsuke Nakamura dead. Looks like Seth Rollins isn't the one who should have watched his back tonight. The irony.
For the first time, he main events a premium live event.
And that's the sin.
Seth and The Fiend with a tremendous rivalry.
Rest in peace to the late Bray Wyatt, but with all the respect in the world, The Fiend's feud with Seth Rollins was anything but tremendous, especially inside Hell in a Cell.
It only takes one clever pin.
I gotta admit, seeing Shinsuke Nakamura smile in confidence while he rubbed Seth Rollins' back was weird, but also intense due to the threats that he gave in the weeks leading up to this. Like, holy crap, Seth is screwed if Shinsuke targets the back.
Of Roman Reigns now over 3 years.
Indeed, Roman Reigns has reached 3 years as the Universal Champion. However, since he's not here tonight, and there are no traces of the active Bloodline members, not even Paul Heyman, it's pointless to bring him up.
Nakamura, though, with a backdrop, and again.
Let me ask this then. If Seth has been dealing with a back injury for 4 years, why is it only now that every bump he's taken causes him to flop all over the place in pain? He didn't even do that at SummerSlam last month. I guess the power of Shinsuke's words were what caused it to become active.
Nakamura has a knowledge of the human anatomy.
So how come Shinsuke hasn't been using all that knowledge to his advantage over the years if he knows how to exploit and break the body? He could have been a deadly champion already by now.
From the challenger. And now a knee to the back of the neck.
Actually, the knee missed Seth completely. What actually happened was Shinsuke's foot connected into Seth's hip. But since this feud isn't about watching your hip, we're elected to ignore it.
Notice, there's a cover executed.
Either some drunk fan managed to swipe the hammer and ring the bell, or the timekeeper accidentally dropped the hammer onto the bell. Either way, this match has prematurely ended as a draw. Good night, everybody.
I don't know how smart this is. Bad back and everything.
I mean, this has worked endlessly for Seth Rollins over the last 4 years with said back injury without any damage. Why would tonight be any different? Apparently, you can recover from any type of injury on your body as long as you slap yourself in the face. Maybe that move didn't help Seth Rollins win the match because his name is not Kazuchika Okada.
I know my back is messed up.
What are you doing? You've been targeted in the back by this asshole for weeks and you're choosing to taunt him at the worst time possible? Seth is literally asking to have his back broken beyond repair at this point.
Nakamura's gonna win the title.
Why would you say this? The switch after switch after switch right into the pedigree was a beautiful combination of moves. I feel the main event itself dragged on too long, but that was a great sequence for sure.